You don't know.
I got the red sangria again, as usual.
Oh, shit. I got that. I might jump on that too.
That's the wave. Oh wow, my son got my headphones. I'm dead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, ATX, man. What's popping, bro? Chilling?
Man, yeah, chilling, dude. Just got done listening to My Life is Awesome or Lit and RG3.
Oh,
And, fire, it's good seeing him back in the action again because that boy be
Mhm.
bringing that energy too. And
He's tr-
hit him with the trifecta and hit him with the, energy. And god damn, dude. They're so close, man.
yeah, we gotta get him on the show for sure.
Facts on facts. Yeah,
You
that'd be dope. Now that he's out again, I believe he's actually in Texas too, if I'm not mistaken. So we got to figure something out on that.
Oh yeah, yeah, hell yeah. That'd be dope. Yeah, man. Where's everybody at, man?
Hey, let me
Who we
uh let me tweet this out too. Share
yeah,
via
for sure.
Twitter.
Anybody want to speak free? I see my man side effects in here. Shout out to side effects. That hat. People keep asking me about that hat, bro. They love it. Y'all go check out side effects. He's in the chat. Y'all follow.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, guys, like at this point in time, we had Balliot on earlier. That was a fire ass stream. If you haven't seen that, highly, highly advise everyone go fucking do that. Stop what you're doing.
Please do.
Yo, that shit was amazing. Just having him around, seeing him back in action, guys. Like everyone's coming out, man. We bringing people who haven't been on in a long time. That just
Oh
even
yeah.
more bullish, in my opinion, on everything happening with PulseChain, PulseX, and everything, fam.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, we bring in a new energy to this, man. New
Here we
energy.
go. Cool.
Oh,
Just sent a little tweet out. That was
for,
a a
for
weak
sure.
tweet if you ask me, but yeah, man. It was a lot of fun, dude. I mean, I was just listening to the basics of like you talking about the money. He was
Mhm.
looking at where the money went and where the money goes.
Right,
And if
right.
y'all sacrifice for Pulse Chain and Pulse X, congratulations, man.
You don't.
Congratulations.
You won
Like,
already. You won already, dog. If you just held and did nothing, you won already. I mean, at this point, if you got into any of them sacrifices, you really don't got it. You could go to sleep for 2 years. You could just put yourself in a
yeah,
wake up, be rich.
yeah, man. But other than that, dude, I mean, I was listening to him, and he was talking about one coin just making a layer one pump, whether it be Solana or whether it be fucking Ethereum or just anything like that. Just
Yeah.
one coin. Oh, did I drop?
No, no, I hear you. I hear you.
I
Yeah,
stepped
man.
outside for a second. Let me know if I dropped or not.
Nah, you sound clear, bro.
I see Flame On speaking right here.
Yeah, man, jump
Guys, let
in.
me know if you can still hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
yeah,
Westcott.
yeah. I hear
Oh,
you.
you can't hear us? That might be what happened to me last time.
You, bro.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yo,
Yeah, it's not weird. Twitter be lagging.
I feel like I'm
so,
on a goddamn Zoom call. I can't tell if I'm fucking muted or not. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we hear you.
he can't hear us. He gotta go and then come back.
Yeah, Khalil, you hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think last time it was me. Like I couldn't hear you for some reason. Everybody was telling me to leave and come back, and then
Oh,
it worked.
okay.
So you got a number? Text him or something. Somebody hit him up.
Yeah, I'm telling them we can hear you. You can hear.
I can't. Okay, cool. I can't hear anyone, so I guess I'll just try to drop out and no, that's right. I can't hear whatever. So yeah, let me hop off and then I'll hop right back on.
All right, yeah, no doubt, definitely. Oh yeah, yeah. So did you guys get to see my new video? Khalil, you
Which one?
I just put one out maybe but like
All right, bet. I hear some noise real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear me now.
I hear you.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah. You hear us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I literally stepped outside for like fucking 2 seconds so I could just take the pups out. And God damn, fucking spaces, man.
Uh, you still outside and it's
Yeah,
working?
yeah, yeah. Still outside and it's working.
Oh, so now we know what to do now. If that happens, just step out and step back in.
Yeah, I just for whatever reason I have two different networks on Wi-Fi, and
Yeah.
for whatever reason it flipped over to the one that was furthest away from where I'm at. And then I got one that like covers
Oh,
the whole fucking house, including the backyard and front yard and all that.
right.
And it has a whole, mesh network and all that good stuff. And it hopped on the one that gets my living room. I use that one for my streaming, so it's just like a dedicated. If I'm on the computer, it's just straight dedicated to the computer, Ethernet plugged in, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Facts,
Yeah,
man.
but whatever reason it
Facts.
hopped on that one. But what's up, everybody? Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all of you beautiful, beautiful people. I see people
You
hopping
dope.
in. Guys, if y'all
Yes.
are wanting to join the stream, come on up, request to speak. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to hearing everybody's information on how everybody is feeling. Right now, we got some, I mean, goddamn bullish news, if you ask me. Yo,
You
when
don't
Richard Hart fucking threw that tweet out, win Pulse Chain,
you
sir.
know.
Ooh-wee.
I loved
I
it. Green candles.
Yo, and then I'm
saw me.
like, bro, don't do this, man. Like, you the one person that can't say that, man. Like,
I started
yeah,
making
dude.
videos,
And
man.
then he fucking says, he says, hey, when it's ready, soon, when it's soon, when it's ready.
Like, ain't that, sir?
I was like, God damn, boy, got him.
And people think it's Cinco de Mayo, man. 5-5.
Yo,
Uh,
I
uh,
hear, anytime, so I'm of the opinion like that we just be an opposite of everything, and this motherfucker just gonna sneak launch this shit. He's gonna like he's not gonna do it on a day that any of us anticipate. So I don't think it'll be May 4th because that's May the 4th be with you or May the 4th be with you or whatever. And then you got Cinco de Mayo because everyone's got that 5-5 going on around 5-5, 5-5, 5:50 p.m. GMT or UTC time, and then everyone's thinking 15th of May is in the other one because mid May, and I'm just of the opinion now that I'm like, dude, he's gonna sneak launch this shit like May 8th on some random shit, right?
yeah.
Like fucking won't make sense, won't come out of nowhere, but get rid of all the little last minute wannabe traders who are coming in here thinking they're gonna get
You
that
don't
little
know.
fork in the next couple days.
No.
Wash out their fucking weekends, you know what I mean? Like
Mm,
all these people are coming in and trying to make the play right before the fork, and he's like, all right, cool, man, pump the price up for a little, but I ain't launching it yet. And then he's just sitting like, I bet you this bitch is just ready to fucking launch right now, my dude. You know what I mean? Like,
know it.
yeah,
You know it is.
yeah,
He look
everything works.
motherfuckers like he know I'm trying to game the system. He like, I know what the fuck Westcott trying to
Yeah.
do. I ain't gonna let I'm gonna make that fucker hold. So all right,
Yo,
got me, Richard. I'm a hold, bro.
so what video were you talking about?
I just put out one. Check my Twitter. I put a little country song
Yeah, he
out.
did.
So
I'm not even a country fan. This boy over here singing country. You got two songs now, country.
She woke him
I
up?
got it.
Oh, I didn't even peep that.
I'm trying to do like the rap shit. You know what I mean? Like I want to get some DMX shit out, but the problem is my video guy. He we can't link as far as like scheduling and shit. So I'm like, fuck, the people need something. Let me just put something together real quick and put it out with my little
Oh, he
self.
really did put out a new video. He was trying to tell
Yeah,
me.
that shit was like about 40 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago. If y'all ain't,
See you on the
yeah,
moon.
exactly. See you on the moon, man.
It's short.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
bro.
go check that out. Click on Westcott's page and go check out that song, man. Come on back in the space and have.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mute my mic.
Oh, you're good, Crypto Khalil, man. Like, man, we Gucci fam.
You know,
Yo, one question I was gonna ask too is like, is my TV loud? Because I'm watching the Celtics game right now.
I mean, I can hear background
uh,
noise, but I wouldn't say it's loud. It just sounds like muffled background noise, but it's not. It's not like you know, crazy or nothing like that. Just sounds like you're
All
out,
right, word.
or so you got people
Word.
around you, my dude.
Nah, I'm in the
Yeah,
house.
exactly.
I got my kids. I'm just chilling watching the
Hell
game.
yeah, man. That's all.
no doubt. Yeah, we chilling tonight, man. Get your drink. I hope everybody got a little vodka, cranberry, whatever, whiskey. Do something, man. Hey, yo, ATX, I'm holding off on that Glenlivet, man. I still ain't tasty yet,
Oh
bro.
my gosh,
Oh,
dude, that's gonna, hey man, just make sure you got a nice ice ready to go for that, man. If you could buy some whiskey rocks right now, as a matter of fact.
I'm gonna jump on it.
Yeah, dude, just go on Amazon, buy some nice little fucking whiskey rocks. It doesn't dilute the Glenlivet at all with any water. Keeps it nice and chill for you. And dude, that thing just is something you sip on, my guy. Like you want to sip on something, that's that drink right there. You about to have your eyes wide open, my boy. What's up, Crypto Pimp? Dude, check out Crypto Pimp's name, dude. So it's an acronym. Pimp stands for Pulse and My Portfolio, friends. Like,
Ow,
yo, that is
ow.
fucking dope.
That's sick, man. Hey, yo, if y'all want to speak, jump in. You don't gotta record. Don't gotta raise your hand. Just jump in. We chilling tonight. Ain't
Yeah,
shit.
when more people come in, we'll try to moderate and that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, come on in, come talk. If you got a question, ask the question. I see Florentine in here right here as well. Let me give you a little follow back, guys. Follow everyone who's up on the panel right now. Keep it simple. Let's have some fun. Let's
Yeah,
share some love.
Hey
please
guys,
do.
how are you? Thanks for having me
Of
here.
course.
I'm actually very excited. I recommend instead of drinking whiskey, just buy some Tuscan wine. I think it's a bit better in your stomach.
Okay, Tuscan wine. Okay, you sound bougie, man. Was that expensive or some shit? What we talking about here?
Well, we have a different type of wine, so it's just a range. I mean, if you buy a bottle of whiskey for like 100, just
Yeah,
get a couple of nice bottles of Tuscany. Will be easy on your stomach and your liver. Just
facts,
putting
man.
it out there, just showing some love for your liver.
Hmm. Okay, hey, man. I appreciate the love for the liver, bro.
Hey,
Because I'm fucking mine up.
their
I'm
liver
doing it.
recovers, man. It's all good.
But anyway, like I just wanted to say, you guys, that for example, we're here in Florence. We have a group of guys. Even it's a very small city, but if you any of you PULSECHAN, hexicans, and whatever, just any day you come around Florence, you guys are more than welcome to. We can show you around. We can do some parties over here. So yeah, just put it out
Florence,
there.
where's that at? Where's that?
Italy.
That's in Italy, in Florence, in
Woo,
Tuscany.
woo. Don't have me come out there, bro. I'm gonna be a very bad
What's
guy.
up,
I'm
Walrus?
just
I
being.
see you hopping in. Vets in crypto. I see you here. Crypto CPT. Guys,
I know.
chat.
Walrus ain't in here. I know Walrus ain't in here, man. My guy, dog. Real talk. Walrus setting up a studio, big fucking studio like DCC, man, in Texas, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Like I seen DCC. I see Fresh and Fit
Mm.
podcast. I see Joe Rogan podcast. I see all these people at the podcast studio, and I'm like, I need me a studio now, man. I
No, no.
Yo, I need that shit. We need that shit looking good too. You know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, just fucking Pulse Chain, Pulse X, hex icons everywhere,
Bro.
flashing everything. Oh my
Give me two
God.
years. Bro. We going to the fucking Mecca in Austin, Texas, dog. I'm moving. I'm moving the whole fam out there, bro.
Yes,
Real
sir.
talk.
Yes, sir. Yeah, dude,
Trying to do
you'll have a welcome arms over here, my guy. You already know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Walrus, good, bro. What's up, man?
Oh man, just got through getting a little studio lined up. Had to send you a teaser real quick.
I seen it, y'all. I didn't want to tell y'all, but I seen it. My man hit me. He sent me the pic. ATX, I'm gonna send it to you, bro. It's lit.
All right, bet.
Yo, expensive microphones and everything, dog. I love it. Dog, let me get a little bit of a bag, bro. I'm gonna set up a nice fucking studio in Texas. Move
I'm
every
saying, you get
yeah.
a bag, you
Yep.
can have a fire setup for everything.
Oh. So
Yeah,
when's long?
it takes a little time, man, but it's not all that bad. I mean the like the softbox lighting and a few things, a couple aperture lights that they bring that bad boy together.
Yeah, I bet they do. I bet they do. How soon before you go live in that thing, man?
Man, I got, let's see. Trying to think if I have anything like actually like on camera. I got a few recorded things, but they won't be out for just a bit.
Mm.
The team has got oh man. I think everything's going to end up stacking up not this week but next week. I think just because we like to do stuff in a certain order, so I think we could push a lot out this week. I think we'll end up doing it the following week, but like there's just
Nice.
about to be just like a dump of alpha. Like everyone's just going to like bask in the glory
Oof.
of everything we have to release here pretty quick. Like I was trying to tell the guys like Dave CC, let's stagger it a little bit, but they're just like pulling a slingshot back. I was like, okay,
Bro.
we'll just do that then.
Yo,
But I'll probably have a stream going before then, so I'll probably stream sometime this weekend.
oh, can't wait, bro. Please do. Everybody in here right now, you click on Walrus's head and hit that follow. Stop fucking playing. This guy, the alpha, yo, and the networking ability. Oh my God, I got to see it in person. This guy is pumping our bags, dog. So make sure you follow. Man, I can't wait to get back out there, man.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, shout out Walrus, man. Shout out everyone that we got to meet. Brother KG, Gary, got to meet up with so many individuals out there, man.
fuck yeah, bro. Consensus lit. Yo, Walrus, how many days did it go on after I left? Did it went on till Saturday or it was done like Friday?
The official event ends Friday, but we were working until Sunday. There was a couple of brunches between some of the players that didn't leave till late Sunday.
Wow.
Saturday we went back out, had a couple of dinners, but that's all the informal stuff. So you're just trying to wrap up stuff, make
Mm,
sure the VCs remember you, that kind of thing.
bruh. Yo, I appreciate that, man. Yo, when I see these dudes running up on guys, talking to them and pitching pulse chain to them, when I tell you their eyes was fucking wide open. Oh, you mean billion with a B was sacrificed? What the hell? Dudes was stumbling, dropping their phones trying to get these guys info. So, man, it's a lot to look forward to, man. I'm excited for real.
Yeah, there's a lot of infrastructure stuff on the backside, like people doing the boring stuff that you want good stuff. Like I bring this up all the time. Like there's a lot of the stuff that goes on in the background. If
Yeah.
we're doing a really good job, no one ever hears about it. And so we lock down a handful of extra like infrastructure companies, API, getting
God.
stuff up for validators, all that kind of stuff that again that should make sure that no one ever has to worry about any of that kind of stuff.
Yo, it's crazy because like you represent liquid loans, so you think that would be your only push, like the only thing you push, but you really be holding it down for everything in this ecosystem, man. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That is a beautiful fucking thing. Oh,
That's you remember, man. I told you. I know. ATEX dying to chip in here, so I keep coming her up on the mic, man. But that was a huge part of me coming to LL. Was like I'm a pulse chain guy. Like that's the reason I started being forward facing. The reason I started to do things in the space. Like pulse chain's what I'm about. So like LL is built on top. It relies on the whole ecosystem. All these kinds of things. So like this is my house. This is where I came for, man. So yeah, that's never gonna change.
yeah. Hey, man. Everybody hating on LL. Stop it because the way it works.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I
Yo,
think you got
Yeah,
too many mics
your
on.
mic broke up a little bit on that.
who me? Me? My shit broke up?
Yeah, you were breaking up when you were talking just now, just FYI.
Hold on. Let me take off speaker. I got it
You're
on
good,
speaker
dude.
right
You're
now.
you're good now.
But yo, no, real talk, man. Don't hate on LL, bro. LL is popping out here. The things they're gonna do when that thing launches, my God. Because a lot of people are fudding right now, thinking like why don't we have a protocol on testnet? Why can't we see? Yo, just be patient.
Sure, I'll explain it to you.
All right.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Pull data from where? Do you guys have an archive node up yet?
Mm.
Okay, okay. Pull prices from where? Do you have these connected like to what pool? Right. It's like all this stuff has to be built in. You have to be able to pull contracts. If you guys have Gnosis up, we'll lurch on your Gnosis. You guys have Gnosis ready? No. Okay. All right. Cool. So until then, you have to build analytics. That stuff changes when there's a test net. So now
Bingo.
you have to have Archive Nova up. Then you have to have multi-sig up. Then you have to have oracles up. And it takes all those things to have polished. So that's why this stuff takes time to actually launch. Like the front end, like we just launch a front end that takes 10 seconds. Like all that stuff's ready. We're getting everything ordered and polished up. So like Gnosis functioned on V3. I don't even remember what the issue was now, but there was an issue where it wasn't pulling correctly on V4. So you go through and sort that, but you have to have multi-sig ready before you can launch
Right.
all the locking contracts. So that's why this stuff takes time. And again, we don't have to release products. I had someone bring that up in the space, and I get it, right? Like, so, I come from a spot where I see all this stuff being built. I at least have somewhat of an understanding of some of these dev environments and how it takes to get things up. But in every other industry on the world, you don't have to release stuff. You don't show your work. You don't give everybody a heads up on these things.
Right.
So in a more commercial environment, like this is how you treat these things. Like someone was like, oh, why don't we have the name yet? There's a thing called marketing, and sometimes you want a little bit of energy around it. And you don't have to release products, right? So like to push these things out in a nice, clean way, these things all take formalized. So we just have a little different rhyme and reason, but so again, we'll have either this next week, if not the following week, will just be an absolute just machine gun.
Yeah, man. Oh, bro, man, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited, dog. Man, yeah, y'all picking the wrong thing to hate on, bro. I seen it in action. Shout out to Bobby Hexerod. He says, "Thank you for clarifying, Walrus." So people get it. They get it. They know what's up.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Again, so there's a few of those things that are tough, right? So like if we went to go launch this on a chain that's established, like literally the amount of work is maybe 10%. But you have this moving goalpost, right? So we were launched privately on V3. You're going through, get everything, then V4 comes out. Okay, well now you have to wait. But when you're waiting, certain things you can build and have ready, certain things you can't. So
Hmm.
there's a few things with like archive nodes, which is how you get all the data. So like on the DApp, if you look, we have graphs built in to give you like, again, time of loan, all these kinds of things, liquidation, when all these events happen. Okay, well that takes data. So then you have to have an archive node.
Right.
So, but that has to get resynced every time to the new test nets. And some of it also is some things we want to have sorted out. So like there's gas optimization issues that came out,
Yeah.
and then Brett and those guys got that polished up. So if you launch the very beginning, like, and then someone comes and says, "Hey, I have a problem getting my transactions to go through." Again, like you want to test these things one at a time, right? So you give those guys a chance to get dialed in. You give archive nodes a chance to sync. You give GraphQL all this infrastructure to make all this stuff work nice and cleanly, so the stuff populates. Again, multi-sig, the Oracle, all these things get dialed in, and then you can launch nice and clean. So it will all that again, depending on everyone's protocol. Like some stuff's easier to launch, some stuff's even harder to launch, right? But you have to know which ones are which.
100, man. 100. Yo, hey, again, y'all are in good hands. Be patient. Just wait. I seen the guy work. It's nasty.
Hey, Walrus, real quick. I want to ask you a question about the single sided stake on PulseChain. It was on a V2. It didn't. Is that one of the things that you're probably talking about where it hasn't been deployed yet? And a follow up question to just confirm when there is single sided stakes on the PulseChain side, that means no impermanent loss. Can you just verify those statements for me if that's cool?
Yeah. So just to be clear, I'm pretty sure I know, but just again for the room also, when you say single-sided staking, you're talking about the PulseX function, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a few little caveats. So one, that's not up currently on the PulseX that's there on V4.
Exactly.
It's still part of the protocol. It's still going to be up. They just have to update the front end. It's possible they launch without that feature being present on the front end, but the feature's there. Like it didn't get removed. So it's on the contracts. So that's one of those things that can be a little tricky. So that feature's there. It is launched. It's just not on the DApp where you could actually click the button. Now, and then onto the question about impermanent loss. Impermanent loss only happens when you're actually providing liquidity. So you have to be in an LP pair to have impermanent loss. On single-sided staking, the way the reward works is whoever sponsors those pools, so actually puts up what the reward is, right? So like I'm the Walrus coin, right? So I launch Walrus coin. I want to sponsor a pool. Walrus coin puts up and says, "Hey, I'm going to give 1,000,000 coins every hour, whatever the rate is, right?" And then your portion of the pool is how you get your rewards, right? So if you're 10% of the pool, there's 1,000,000 Walrus coins every hour. Then you'd get 100,000 Walrus coins every hour. But that's only because of your PLSX that's staked. So it's your percentage of the pool, but there's no loss. There's no way to incur anything. You're just being paid out to be a part of the pool.
I want them walrus coins now, baby.
Right? I
Man.
mean, hit me with a good time.
So the last part of that, I did a quick video on that I think walks through it pretty clearly. And a lot of this issue is like because there's some, again, it's hard to abstract, but the way the sponsored pools work, like the idea around them, like why is somebody giving me free coins? What am I doing to get free coins? It's like an airdrop. So if I wanted to do an airdrop, why do I do an airdrop? Because I want all you guys to come use my stuff, right? So it's a freemium on board. It's a distribution. So single-sided staking is similar to an airdrop, but if you can get people to do anything, then it's going to be stickier, right? So any kind of commitment makes people more likely to retain something. So if you do something like single-sided staking, the reason it's effective is because to get it done, I have to put up a proposal on the DAO. So everyone will go on the PulseX DAO and read my pitch about Walrus Coin, right? Walrus Coin's awesome, my big shiny bald head, blah, 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 whatever the stuff is, right? But you had to read it. Okay, so if you read it, you're more likely to find something engaging. And then you had to click vote yes. Now you're more likely to engage because you already participated. And then you actually have to go click and put them in the pool. So it essentially, for whoever sponsors the pools, works like an airdrop, but because you had to interact and read and touch the sticky stuff, now you know it exists. You're much more likely to get like higher retention on those things. And both one, people will actually know it's in their wallet. Like if you have a big wallet, you have dust in there that no one pays attention to. And the other one is people are more likely to find value in it. Like if you go tell a bunch of hexicans, hey, XYZ thing just got dropped to hexicans, before that sentence is over, half them sold because they don't care. They just know they're going to take their value, go buy hex with it, right? So it's the same thing for everyone else. But if I use this, I get to basically put up a billboard. You had to participate and vote. So people who interact with that are going to be much more likely to engage with it. So it works like an airdrop. It's just better for everybody in our ecosystem because it goes to us. And then for them, they're more likely to get customers.
Yo, so thank you. So basically, the reason why I wanted to bring that up because I'm one of those people that love very, very conservative investing. Meaning, if I can single side stake my pulse chain and be able to gain yield as of some type of INC token or any kind of reward by single sided staking, and I don't have to worry about impermanent loss, that's why I truly believe that's one of the secret sleepers on what's going on. But thank you for breaking that fucking down. You
I
are the
just
That's
want
man.
to I just want to clarify. It is PulseX that you were single-side staking. It is not PulseChain. PulseChain will not have that function available. It is only PulseX that will have that function available. Also, that function will not probably be available for like the first 30 to 60 days because it does have to get put up into a DAO. It does have to get voted upon. So just know that ahead of time and wait if that is your game plan. Because I think people are going to find that they're going to get impatient. They're going to see a lot of people make a lot of yield from yield farming and providing liquidity. And then you're not going to have single-sided staking available for your PulseX, and you're going to put it up into the LP position where you don't understand impermanent loss. You just see people earning money, and then that's where you could get wrecked. So just be patient if that is your goal. To anyone listening, but I just want to clarify that it is only PulseX that will have single-sided staking available for it.
Facts, and dog. Shout out to Shiny Bald Heads, dog. Yeah, I seen the head. The head is fire. I'm about to cut my shit off. I'm about to join you, dog. Real talk, because my hair is sad right now. Real talk.
So
Just do
I
it.
know, I know crypto formulas his arms probably getting tired. I'll hit one more last thing to make
Yeah,
everybody really bullish on the single-sided staking.
right.
So, Filipino, if I could give you any asset on Pulse Chain and you only had to pick one, which one would you want from single-sided staking? You can take any one you want.
Pulse.
Okay, you want Pulse. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So here's what's cool because I already know he's going to give me a good answer, right? So Filipinos already heard this rant from me before,
No,
but
it's
I'm
all
doing this
good.
for everybody else. So for everybody else, Filipino wants Pulse, right? How come I don't want single-sided staking to give out Pulse?
Because you're
Because
a
you have to
hater.
give up. You got to give
Because
up
of it.
that pulse, baby.
So here's why I don't want Pulse on there. Because if I give Filipino Pulse, Filipino just holds the Pulse, right? But what if I give somebody else Pulse and somebody's trying to take profit? What do they have to sell? Pulse. But if we give out something stupid like Walrus Coin and I give Filipino a bunch of walrus coin, what's Filipino going to do with it?
Go
Sell it
buy
and
more
buy
Pulse.
Pulse.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. But he didn't have to sell down my ticker symbol, because if somebody wants to take profit and they just want cash, we don't want them selling down Pulse. We want them selling down Walrus Coin. So sell down everybody else's stupid tickers who put up liquidity, and you go buy the valuable stuff. Don't give out Pulse Hex and
Yes,
Pulse Hex.
sir.
That stuff's expensive. You guys had to go buy that from the hitters. Don't give that stuff out. Sell down everybody else's stuff. Sell down their ticker symbols. When you're taking profit, then take your money and run. And when you want Pulse, PulseX, any of the stuff that we all like, you buy that stuff. You don't sell it to take profit. So the fact that it doesn't pay those things out is actually better for the ecosystem.
Ooh,
Facts
damn.
on
And with low
facts.
fees, people are gonna do that immediately.
Oh yeah, crypto for more. I see you got your hand up, man. Go ahead, bro. We ain't tripping.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I did, Walrus, watch that video that you put out a couple of weeks or so ago about the PRT tokens. That was good stuff. So if anyone wants to watch that, kind of reiterate.
Where? Hey, can you post it right here on the on this little message thing on this thing so I can check it out?
I don't have it handy, but maybe Walrus can post it. I think he did put
I
it up.
can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tweet it, and I'll put it in the top in the jumbotron.
But I got two questions, one of which is kind of related to this. So I think ATX Crypto spoke to this, and I think I've heard this before too. But just to ask, do we know if anyone is going to post anything as far as PRT stuff? Has anything come out yet? And then my second question is taxes. So, some folks in here are going to make a lot of money. Is there anyone in the Hex PulseChain community? I did come across one video sometime back. I wasn't able to find it again, but he was pretty good in terms of how he broke down, one or a few possible scenarios as far as taking profit and, what to do with it and taxes and, cost segregation, real estate, all these things. So just wondering if there's anyone that someone knows in the community that, you could point folks to in terms of trying to get some more knowledge, from that angle.
I would say for the taxes, identity blocks done very good for a lot of individuals, and the ecosystem that we're in.
Facts.
Now he does charge, and he is worth the money if you're getting it done, because you're probably not tracking any of your transactions that you ever do. And if you're paying him to go back and look through every transaction of when that coin was bought, how long it was held for, when it was sold, when it was traded for a different coin, what happened. Anyways, he is probably one of the better individuals when it comes to the taxes. The taxes are different for
Sorry, if I could just interrupt real quick.
everywhere.
Yeah, my thing, just to clarify, my thing with that is more so like tax strategy and going about like your taxes more efficiently and wisely, not so much like from a transaction tracking perspective. I'm already doing that. I'm just trying to better understand, like, okay, hey, you have, let's say someone has all these gains, and there are ways, right? Just from a high level, hey, you can set up a trust or put it into real estate or do this or do that. So I'm just wondering if there's anyone in the community that could speak to some of that. And maybe it is this individual, but I just want to clarify. It's not so much from a transaction tracking perspective. It's more about just going taxes more.
Just real quick. A universal answer I've been giving to, like LegalZoom or whatever. You just need to look for the word legal asset protection lawyer. You're looking for asset protection lawyers that have niches in the crypto world, but you're looking for that phrase when you're coming to, when you're talking to professionals. But that was just a side note, other than who can help you in the crypto world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna advise going MCA in that regard, Mountain Crypto Advisors. If you're really wanting to get some help on setting up different trusts, your wills, how to get up, asset protection, exactly like Filipino just said. Mountain Crypto Advisors was created with the Discord syndicate members like Whales Only, Kinetics, and a few other individuals in the ecosystem. But of course, they actually managed by true certified or CPAs. They're managed with, true legal lawyers who actually understand the intricacies of everything, and they also can help out with your taxes at the same time. Now, I am set up with MCA myself, so I'm probably a little bit more biased in that regard, but they've done me good for 2 years now. And if you're ever looking to get into other stuff like making purchases, anyways, that's what I would point you in the direction of. And again, it's Mountain Crypto Advisors, or MCA, to help answer that question for you, Crypto for
I'd
more.
second that. I'd second that with ATX. I'm also a member, one of the first 13 that went through it originally. So I back up ATX. I've
Yes,
gone
sir.
through it. I'm a member as well.
Nice. Love
Yeah, they done me good, and they truly do get you set up, because Filipino mentioned the asset protection lawyer part. The downside to it is there are many different levels of trust and wills and that kind of stuff, whether it be CRTs or like charitable remainder trust or any other living will trust or anything else that's actually out there. And they really help set you up based on what you're looking for, whether it's just your own individual wealth, or if you're looking for generational wealth and trying to pass it down to family members, and all that good stuff too. So yeah,
it.
definitely take a little gander at them. But that would be because, again, otherwise you're paying like a lawyer, for example, each individual trust to get set up, and that can start adding up quite quickly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and just to second that, like, more people need to think about this. Like, it's a bigger issue or concern than most think. Everyone's all about mad gains and yada yada yada. Okay, well, what are you going to do? What's your off-ramp strategy? I mean, me being in the 40s, I'm self-employed, yada yada. That was one of my bigger stresses. Like, once I did my due diligence on Hex and everything else, I see it. It's there. It's going to happen. How do I get this out and minimize my tax liabilities? That was my biggest concern.
Yeah, no, and that's a good point. And so I'll definitely check these guys out. I appreciate that. Anyone that's created maybe some content around this that you can kind of educate yourself before, talking to some of these people, so that way you go into the conversation a bit more intelligently, right? And obviously you're going to have some questions going in, but you can work out some of these things yourself. And obviously there is some research to do, so that's for sure. But I'm just wondering if there's anyone in the community that's created some content around this stuff.
Yeah, hey guys. So I was actually looking into that. I don't know if you guys heard of Dollar. It's called Rocket Dollar. It's a company that you can start a trust through them, and I'm actually in the middle of doing that right now. It's not done. I just had like a bunch of meetings and trying to set that up. I did see. I don't know who posted. There was one of the Hexican guy posted a video, and they had someone come in to talk to them about it, how to set that up. I'll look into that video and post it here in the message.
Yeah, they kind of work with, and they're good. They're legit. I've had a brief conversation with one of the peeps there as well, because at the time I think I was looking at exploring the Hex Investment Trust, which right now you need to be an accredited investor, and obviously for some people, like, your portfolio, Hex goes up a few more cents. You might be in that $1 million portfolio range, and it's a simple get your CPA to sign off, and then it opens up the investment world to you, etc. But yeah, just do your due diligence and shop things around.
And anything on the PRT front, do we know if anyone, any project plans on opening up a pool shortly after launch?
Oh, the PRT. Yeah, that's a great question. So I would just I would negate the term PRT from your minds if possible, because PRT was just there as like a placeholder, and the reward token will be whatever it is who the proposal puts up on the DAO and whatever they're offering, and that will be the token. So yeah, I'd also love to know that same question though, to answer that. I just wanted to clarify that, so that way hopefully everyone understands PRT will not be the token. It's just as a placeholder.
To me, when I hear that question, nobody, in my opinion, nobody's gonna know as soon as we hit main launch until he gives verification. Be like, okay, this is a Richard Hart core incentive token, and this one too. He might surprise us and be like, instead of one, we have two fucking incentive tokens that core Richard Hart. But again, any guess is whoever. But it is just a placeholder, though. That's for sure.
I mean, I feel like if there were going to be multiple incentive coins, good chance we probably would have known by now. There's only, and yeah, maybe for folks that have been kind of following Pulse Chain, they're probably more familiar with the word PRT. What it ends up being, obviously, depending on whatever it ends up being because of the pool itself. But yeah, no, I get it.
I 100%.
So
I just wanted before you ask. I for some reason, because when I pool, the best things are like pooling PRT and INC with PLS or PLSX. But those, juggling those fours, I'm always just anticipating that both of them are going to be Richard Hart tokens because those are the ones that that's in front of us. But again, we'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to what Wall was about to say.
So PRT, remember I had the little like confetti looking thing? That's because PRT was party, which was short for third party. So it was a placeholder for the third party sponsored pools.
Correct.
Uh,
You put in the
that
Pulse
makes
X,
sense.
right? You stake your Pulse X.
Yeah, and guys, there's also Walrus posted the video in terms of the Pulse X yield strategies in the chat. Y'all can go check that out. And to anyone who's looking for the MCA information explained by Kinetics and a whiteboard explanation by him, it's about an hour long. If you're looking for some deep dive analysis on taxes and MCA, it's also in the chat for y'all as well.
Yep. Look up top. It's in the Jumbotron. Y'all swipe through. Anybody wants to post a link, just tag me and then I'll post it up top. But
One other quick one, just real quick before we move on from that topic. Another one, especially as people are like, if you're like dialing into the research side of this, like when it comes to like taking profit is something that we say like it's one thing, but especially when you start to listen to like more and more sophisticated guys, like when they say taking profit, they don't always mean the same thing. Like taking profit can just mean moving from risk on to risk off in something particular. So especially as you move up the ranks and someone's like, hey, yeah, I'm taking profit here. Like they don't actually necessarily mean they're cashing out. They just mean they're scaling back that position from XYZ asset that they're in, right? So if I'm holding a bunch of PLS and I'm taking profit, it doesn't mean that I'm like cashing that out and then like, getting something covered in diamonds or doing XYZ. They really just mean, especially in context, that they're just basically moving to stable coins. They're just like going, again, in that terms, like risk on, risk off. So like take a profit taking strategy for a lot of us, especially again, until you kind of like move some of those thresholds where you've like jump from whatever it is you're used to spending to a different tier, which is again what hopefully a lot of people will experience when all this stuff starts to launch. And people who bought the top of the last bull run get to actually be a part of a bull run and not just be on the end and just get clubbed on the way down, which I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to. And you hear those guys take profit. They may just mean, hey, I'm taking profit in, again, I'm in Pulse and I'm taking it to a stable coin. And now I'm putting it into something like the stability pool, or I'm moving it into here and I'm doing stable to stable LPs. Like they're just moving it from something that's affected, that basically has price movement, to something that doesn't have price movement. So they could just, hey, I'm taking profit. And they could just mean they're moving more into stables. They could be taking profit and actually taking that stuff back to real world. They could be moving it into any one of these managed trusts. So again, it's one of those things that like those terms will start to be more and more specific. So it's just one of those, I think, to help clarity when people get through, like because we're all trying to be efficient with language. So when we say taking profit, like we say it like it's all one thing, but again, the higher tier you go up, those guys taking profit means a lot of different things to them.
That is
Hey,
a great
Walrus,
point.
if you can maybe somewhat speak to this, on that note of taking profits, part of my concern is, and hopefully this is invalid, and it probably is, but it might take some explaining so that I at least understand and other folks can, is liquidity, right? And of course, that's going to depend on how you want to off ramp your profits in terms of Pulse X. But can you maybe somewhat speak to this? Is there going to be enough? Hopefully, there will be enough. And of course, some of this also depends on your time scale, right? I mean, if you're trying to do this within an hour, who knows, right? It's going to probably be a shit show. But within a year, maybe things are better. I don't know if you can maybe try and expand on that a little bit.
So liquidity is a good problem to have. It's almost like when someone's like, I don't really want to pay that much in taxes. You know what they mean, but the first goal for taxes is to pay a lot in taxes, because that means you made a ton. So if you're saying like, man, I'm worried about liquidity, that's awesome, because now that means you got a big enough bag that you're affecting liquidity. So one, congratulations on doing smart stuff, right? So I always like to kind of like put that back in perspective, that if you're a smaller black player and you're moving toward like the first time you have liquidity problems, you're a winner. Like congratulations, welcome to the show, right? Um, and so there's a few things. Again, this is one where that language can get to be a big deal. The smaller your bag is, the more you're worried about gas fees, the less you care about slippage. The bigger your bag gets, you could care less about gas fees, and the more you care about slippage, because the difference in $3 and $30 makes no difference, but 1 versus 2% slippage on a big order is a lot of money now, right? If you get an extra 1% slippage on 100K, that's $1,000, right? No one ever in here has paid $1,000 gas fee. So you start with like, hey, I want to be really efficient on gas fees. The bigger the bag gets, the more you're like, okay, I need order execution. And so that's why if you just listen in general, people bitch about gas fees. And then when you watch like Axis or Silver or the savvy guys that get on the chart, they'll go and they start talking about like OG whales or people ending big stakes. What do they talk about? They never a single time have you heard them talk about one of those guys exiting, and then they talk about gas fees because it doesn't matter. What they care about is order execution because those guys got a big bag and they dump it and they take slippage. So there's that transition on bag sizes where at first you're like, man, $3 and $30 if I'm moving in $200 makes a difference, right? 1% slippage doesn't matter, and it moves. And just, so you have the same thing in the beginning with bag size when it comes to liquidity. When I'm not selling, I don't want there to be liquidity because I want the price to go up. And then when I am selling, I want there to be a ton of liquidity because I don't want to push the price down against myself. So as you move those bags up, it's important. Again, you can forecast it a little bit, but if people talk about liquidity in things that are more I think it gets over talked about for the way it affects the average user on something of value. So like if you're in something like Pepe, where this thing is just like this giant hockey stick of craziness, okay, yeah, liquidity matters, right? But like in Hex, you can push the price down. There's time that it's thicker and thinner, but to like an individual user, like if you just go sell like 50K of Hex, like nothing, or 50K worth of Hex, like nothing moves, right? It's fine. And that's because there's time in market. Like it's a more mature market than it was when it very first launched. And then if you look, there's more liquidity at the top because more people are willing to provide liquidity than there is at the bottom. And so when it comes to these new things, like people confuse that state when they're like, oh, not everybody can get out. Well, duh, not everyone can get out of anything. But if you're but when we get to like more specifically, is the vast majority of people who have a position to sell when they want to sell, will it be there? Then the answer is yes, right? So you want to end up being on that other end of the spectrum. But again, that's probably, I mean, we're talking like 500 people that would have any actual liquidity issue once you get past, say, a week or so. And that grows with price, right? So it's like right now, if you want to find people who are willing to provide liquidity, okay, if it's at sacrifice value, I probably don't want to really provide liquidity there. Now, if you want to buy at 1000x, well, then yeah, man, I'll provide you some liquidity. Let's do this. So that liquidity tends to move with time. It'll go up, and then it will go up with price. So liquidity is important for like overall project health, but it's almost like the chart. I think it gets talked too much about for individual people. All you care about is that when you hit the red button, the cash comes out. So for most users, once they learn some basic order execution like limit orders, or you can do things like one-sided liquidity, they won't really have any problems. So it's something to learn along the way, but it's not early in like the order of operations to me for most people.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, I mean, I was asking that more in the context of taking profits, but then you brought up a good point, who is ultimately that user? And I guess this would perhaps maybe be a bigger problem for sacrificers, and more so maybe the bigger sacrificers. And of course, that's incentive for them to stay. You're looking at whatever, millions, tens of millions, who knows, hundreds of millions of dollars, but what's kind of the point if you can't cash it out, right? It's just kind of sitting there. Again, hopefully it's not a huge problem, at least not, in this ecosystem, but nonetheless, I was just asking in the context of taking profits. But yeah, it does make sense that that'd probably be a bigger problem for something like maybe a meme coin, right, than something like this. But yeah.
Well, and usually Walrus hit the nail on the head. Usually what happens is as you start advancing in the ranks, you will learn how to handle better order execution. Market selling is not typically the route if you're wanting to cash out, because you do typically understand that it does hurt the price and it does have slippage, and there is worse effects than just doing things like setting limit orders on the way up and cashing out, or providing the single-sided liquidity like on V3, which allows you to cash out along the way and earn some fees while you're doing it as well. And there's just different ways to actually take profits and not hurt the price. And that's something that you learn as the market grows and as you get into that position as well.
So let's talk about that maybe a little bit. So outside of placing limit orders, right? Outs and maybe not dumping your entire bag, which obviously doesn't make sense for a variety of reasons. You know, you're hurting yourself. It's not good for you long term because you got nothing else left to take profits. It's not good for the project. But the single-sided staking you can't do anyways. You know, unless you want to be a validator. Let's talk Pulse, or you can single side. You know, on PulseX. I guess what else can you do to make it more favorable for yourself? So outside of, like I said, limit orders, yeah, cascading out. What else can you do if there is anything?
What do you to get out to exit?
Right, in terms of like making it more favorable for yourself to take
I think the
profits.
most
Right.
favorable thing that I can do is hold to 2025, to the next bull run.
Oh, for sure. Right.
That's
Right.
that's me. I'm not saying I will. We'll see if I can make it or not. You know, it's all good when you got it staked up, and your stake on Hex you get 0 for, so you got to hold it. But this is gonna be a whole new ball game with PulseChain, man. We're gonna really find out who can hold, and holding is, we've figured out, holding is the key. Because anybody who bought
And
Hex
on that,
early that waited that year or two really, really did well. And I know a lot of dudes who did really well. I did pretty darn good myself, and I still held most of my Hex. So hopefully I can hold my PulseChain. And this is a great conversation to have, don't get me wrong. But I hear taking profits all the time. And what happens with people who have the taking profits mentality is they end up with no crypto before the bull run. It's what happens to most of them. And then they got to start over. So we're in a very unique position here. That's just my opinion, of course. Everybody needs to do what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
in crypto for more as well. So right now, Ethereum has Uni v3 or Uniswap version 3 on it. And we can bring that over to PulseX now because the license code has been released on April 1st. But at this point in time, it doesn't look like it's available on PulseX. So when it comes to Ethereum, you can essentially have your, say Hex and USDC, for example. Say you wanted to cash out of your Hex and convert it into USDC. What you would do is you would set the price on the limit order all in Hex, and you would say, here's 100,000 Hex, for example, or here's 1,000,000 Hex, for example. And you set that at 6 cents. And then you have the liquidity pair or liquidity range go all the way to, we'll just say 7 cents as this example goes. So as the price goes above 7 cents, all of that Hex converts into USDC. Then at that point in time, you can pull your liquidity out and you will no longer have any Hex. You will only have USDC. That is how you can technically cash out without hurting the price and actually helping the market as well and earning some fees. Now, normally you wouldn't do it in such a short, close range like that of just 1 cent, but for some people who want to cash out quickly, they can. That's how you can do that, but that's not going to be available. That's not going to be available at this moment in time on PulseX until they allow Uni v3 to come over, because right now we're just forking Uniswap v2. And the difference between the two is Uniswap v2 covers the entire range of the price, all the way from the lowest low all the way to the highest high. It's the entire range. So you can't just exit and convert all of one token into another token with Uniswap v2 or with PulseX at this moment in time, because that's not how the system is designed. So we will have to wait for that function to become available over on PulseX in order to capture that moment in time to take any sort of profit or convert one token to another token. That is something we'll have to wait for. but the best that we'll have will be limit orders, which again, we don't know if we're getting that right away or not either. So like Danny said, the best you could do is literally hold until you have these functions available, and then you can start doing what you will at that point in time. And it's just a matter of, can you wait, I don't know, 30 days to 6 months for it to become available? And if
Yeah,
the answer is yes, then you'll be able to, take advantage of that.
for sure. And I probably should have clarified. I have no intentions of selling anytime soon. And even if this thing balloons to a fucking sky, no limit, whatever, I still am not going to sell my entire bag because, again, thinking long term, generational kind of thing, so I wouldn't sell anyway.
Facts.
Yeah.
No,
But,
and
but
it's a good conversation to have, though. I mean, it is what it is. So y'all bring up great points, and we just need to do what's right and do your research. Like, this community is so smart. I think honestly, this delay and pulse chain has been a blessing to everybody. I know personally, I've become smarter and more educated, from security to off ramping to so many things. Going to in real life, meetups and whatnot, meeting founders who I've invested in and making different sacrifices. I mean, it's a big, complete package and ecosystem, and it's been a blessing. So like, we're talking about liquidity providing, etc. Like, check out Axis Alive, Crypto Sloth, all those guys. There's a wealth of information to tap out there. Seek it and engage and ask those questions. Do your due diligence and read the white papers, all that good stuff. And you're just going to be that much stronger for it.
hey, ATX Crypto. So if you can maybe elaborate on this part a little bit more. I was following you until the limit orders, but then you got into like liquidity and stuff as far as where to take profits. Can you maybe expand on that part a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, what is it that you're like asking?
So, and maybe I just kind of missed it, but it seems like you can be a little bit more advanced in terms of how you're taking profit outside of just setting up limit orders. Because you mentioned something about liquidity and the whole 6 cent to 7 cent range, which I know, again, that was a total example, and you prefaced it with the fact that that's a tight range. But I just want to make sure I understand like what exactly we're trying to get at with that whole point about something about liquidity or whatever that was. That's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of went over my head, that part.
For
I was
for
following you on
sure, for sure.
limit orders,
I
but
got you.
that
Yeah,
went.
for sure. So there's multiple ways of doing it. One, just to start off with, to let everyone know, for limit orders, guys. Limit orders just means at what price do you want something to execute, and do you want to convert one token to another token? So, for example, again, we have some people who don't even understand that part, and I just want to make sure that's clear. For example, if you wanted to set a price to take profits at 10 cents for a hex, you can go ahead and set that you want to sell 1,000,000 hex at 10 cents. And that way, when the price hits, we'll say 10.5. I'm just going to, when it hits 10 cents, then the order gets executed and it converts into USDC. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it right now, that's not currently available for PulseChain and PulseX, is to do single-sided liquidity. It's different from single-sided staking. So completely different. Because with Uniswap v3, they allow you the ability to just put up one side. So if you've had a chance to test out the PulseX testnet, for example, you'll see that when you provide liquidity, you have to put up both sides of the same thing. So if you have $1,000 that you want to put up for liquidity, you have to put 500 of one token and $500 of the other token, okay? With Uniswap v3, it allows you the ability to do all $1,000 on one token. So you can choose it below the price where it's currently at. You can choose it above the price where it's currently at. The idea behind that is you can do single-sided liquidity, so you just have to put up a full side on one side. Now, when the price goes into the range on the price, for example, 6 cents to 7 cents, okay, say you want to sell your hex and it goes from 6 cents to 7 cents, you have to manage that liquidity position. So if it goes to 8 cents and you don't pull that liquidity position, it converts everything over to USDC in that pair or in that pool. And then if you don't sell and it goes back down below 6 cents, it converts everything back into hex. So it's something that you do have to stay on top of and manage if you want to do that part. So the idea is that you can say, I want to set 1,000,000 hex at 6 cents to sell. I provide single-sided liquidity. Here's my 1,000,000 hex. And that way, when the price starts going up into the 7-cent range, as the price goes higher, it converts all of the hex into USDC. Now, once you're outside of the 7-cent range, all of that hex is now USDC. Then you have to pull that liquidity position because you have to set it and you have to pull it. So once you pull that position, you will no longer have any hex because it will all have been converted into USDC. That is one way of taking profits. You can do the opposite as well. Say you wanted to get the price, say you wanted to buy hex and you had $1,000,000 right now. Well, you can set $1,000,000 of USDC at 5 cents. Okay. Now let's just say, for example, the hex price goes down to 4 cents. Well, as the hex price goes down, all of that $1,000,000 will be converted slowly from USDC into hex. Then once the price reaches 4 cents, all of the USDC will be converted into hex. You will need to then pull that position in the same scenario to pull that position and actually take that hex out of that pool. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing all that. For the most part, I think it does. So maybe a couple of follow-up questions. And again, thanks for sharing all that. So when you say slowly, can you elaborate on the slowly part? Is this kind of like built in to like the algorithm or whatever? Like, hey, as it goes down, I don't know, X percent, it's going to buy this much or whatever. I don't know if you can speak to that part maybe. And
Yeah, yep, yeah. It converts it slowly, exactly through a percentage. So say it goes down 0.1%, then we'll say 10% of your bag in that scenario will be, because again, we're working with a very narrow range. I would never recommend doing a very narrow range like this because it's just too fast. But everyone has their own decision. But in this example, because we're only doing a 1 cent range, for every time it goes down 0.1 cent, it'll take out 10% of that bag and swap it into the other coin. Okay, and then as it goes down another 10% or 0.1%, so it goes from, we'll just say 6.1 to 6.2, and then that converts some hex, 10% of that hex back into USDC. As it goes from 6.2 to 6.3, another 10% is converted into USDC. 6.3 to 6.4, another 10%, so on and so forth. Then when it fully reaches 7 cents, that is 100% of the bag will be converted into USDC at that point in time for this scenario. And the same can be done on the other end. If you're trying to buy some hex for some really cheap prices, as it goes down from 5 cents to 4.9 cents to 4.8 cents to 4.7, so on and so forth, it'll convert 10% of that position every time until it goes down to 4 cents. Then it's 100% converted, and you can pull that position and have the coins whatever you decide to have, whether it be USDC or hex or whatever. So that's what I mean, because you can pull it whenever. There is no, when you do single-sided liquidity position, there is no staking mechanism, there is no lockup mechanism. So say, for example, you just want to do 50% of the bag and you're just ready to take some profits, you can take the profit. So if it goes from 6.5, or if it goes from 6 cents to 6.5, that'll convert 50% of your bag in USDC. You can pull that position and only 50% of it will have been converted. You'll still have 50% hex and you'll have 50% profits in USDC.
So in the amount of your bag, I guess, that gets converted, it sounds like it's directly proportional to the amount to the amount that it goes up or down, percentage wise. Is that correct?
Within the range that you set.
Within the range.
Set the range. Yeah, you choose, right. You tell it what range I want. So if you go to a bigger range, say you have a 2 cent range, then it's only going to convert 5% each time, right? because then it would take, the full 2 cents to convert it into the entire position. So the bigger the range, the less it converts, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So this is great. I appreciate you sharing all this. So I mean, this is basically a slower, almost kind of like, I don't know, limit order, if you want to call it that, as opposed to, hey, it hits your limit order and boom, it just sells. So
Correct. Yeah. So limit order, you don't ever have to worry about doing
right,
anything. You just set it and forget it.
set it and forget it. Right. Well, kind of with this too. I mean, you can kind of set this and forget it too. I mean, it's going to work.
I mean, you got to stay on top of it though, because if you actually do want to cash out, right? If you do want to understand, like if you do want to either convert one token into the other token, you have to pull that liquidity out for you to actually have it converted, because it'll convert. And if the price goes back down below the zone or back down below the range, say you're going from 6 cents to 7 cents, you don't pull your position and it goes back down to 6 cents, you'll have an entire bag of hex again.
Gotcha.
Right? So
okay.
you do have to stay on top of it. And that's why you have to pull the position when it's ready, but you also don't hurt the price by doing a market dump, and you also don't incur slippage either. But you are susceptible to impermanent loss and all that, but that's a whole different conversation.
Right, which is just as a byproduct of the whole up and down, right, in terms of the impermanent loss. Right?
Correct.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. And this whole thing is called, I guess, single-sided liquidity providing, which essentially does the whole buying and selling for you. Is that what it is?
Yeah, correct. So Uniswap, just look up Uniswap V3, and there's a lot of good educational videos on that. It's been out for 2.5 years now, so several people have done several videos on how it all works. But yes, it's Uniswap V3, and it'll explain all the range, how to set a range, all that good stuff. And while you're in there, you also earn fees for people trading within that range too. So it's beneficial for multiple reasons.
Awesome. Thanks again for sharing all that.
Of course.
Can I be bullet? Go ahead, Westcott. You've been wanting to talk in your host in the room.
I was just gonna say, bro, the alpha that's being dropped right now. I hope y'all appreciate it. Make sure y'all follow my man ATX Crypto. Click on this head right now and hit follow. Follow everybody that's in the panel right now. And if you want to speak, hit me up, send me a DM, tag me in something, and we'll get you up here. But y'all
Hey,
keep
I
going.
want to be bullish for a second. I remember I was not a day one hexican. I got in 2020 and it was cool. And I wasn't on Twitter, which was good too, because I was able to just focus. But man, I know this for a fact. There's never been a time I've seen Hex trending with 1 million tweets about it, like we got with PulseChain. And PulseChain hasn't dropped yet. This is marketing 101. This is where big old RH knows exactly what's happening. It's like marketing school. It's just unbelievable.
Oh,
That's
no.
why I'm hearing this. I heard ATX say,
facts.
if you want to sell in 30 days or 6 months, I'm like, huh? Well, we got 1 million tweets today. I think I might wait and see what happens. I think I might wait until the bull run that's imminent. It's not far away. It's less than 2 years, I think. Hopefully, if the 4-year cycle is still intact, which I think it is. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But
I also
dude,
think it is.
1 million tweets. It's unreal.
Yo, Danny, here's the best part. I'm gonna blow your mind with something right now, and everyone. So you want to talk about marketing and the freaking 4D chess that Richard Hart plays that we just don't even comprehend. This is PulseChain literally has built-in marketing forever. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is people are going to realize and hear about PulseChain 2 years from now. Everyone who is on the Ethereum network is getting everything copied, and they're going to connect to the PulseChain network, and they're going to see, holy shit, I have all of these coins over here. Bam. Wow, I have $1 million. Bam. Wow, I'm going to tell my friends. Bam. They go connect. Built-in marketing. Guess what? 5 years down the road, someone hears about PulseChain for the first time. They were on Ethereum 5 years ago. They got themselves fucking wrecked during the entire time. 5 years later, they connect to the PulseChain network. They have $1 million sitting in their bag right there. Bam! That's built-in marketing forever.
Now, are they not
Ever.
going to have to
Forever.
move those? Are they not going to
That's
have to? It's not going to
incredible.
be a move it or lose it situation anymore on the copies.
Yeah, he
Okay,
got rid of that. That was something that
right,
PulseChain was going
right,
to
right,
do in the
right.
very beginning, and it was going to be a period of time that people were going to have to move it or lose it. He said, "I'm going to take that out. People can have it. People fucking get it
Wow,
regardless." So this is built-in marketing
that is
forever.
interesting.
Like forever, y'all. Y'all want to talk about fucking bullish? That's fucking
Yeah,
bullish
because
in my
whoever
opinion
decides,
right
yeah,
there. Forever. Built it like you're going to hear about someone forever. Mwah, that's
go ahead,
fucking
vets.
brilliant, dude. Like
Vets in crypto. You want to talk?
Hey,
I
yeah,
can't hear him.
twin
I
fam, you
also can't.
go ahead. Somebody had a question. All right, well, anyway, hey, I'm out here. I'm
Uh,
eating chips right now. I'm drinking. Wait, did someone speak? Go ahead, man.
yeah. Look,
Yeah.
on that
Oh,
note,
sorry.
before that, you guys were talking about profit and everything. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys
Yep.
hear me? Awesome. Um, One of the
Yep.
things that I realized in the last period is that because of Ethereum fees, I believe that a lot of the single side staking people will champion will reach in the richer hard ecosystem, such a the certificate of deposit on Hex. As I know today, a lot of people will use that for do the single staking and do some certificate of deposit on Hex on monthly, weekly, daily. What happened is you on the back on that you get Hedron, right? So if you do stakes on Hex, you will get pretty much free Hedron, and by staking Hedron, which is going to be very cheap on that side, you get Icosa, and guess what? You get and then you get Icosa and Hedron. So it's like a vertical, integration is just money out of the yin yang. And the fact that a lot of people not using that today is because, as you guys know, in the last few days, Ethereum to unstake even 100,000 hex, it was like probably $200, $100, and that's crazy because you know um, that's like that's why this is very bullish on that note. So if you ever think about the sacrifices on Pulse X and Pulse Chain, it was the majority of, like, I think was 500 million. It was hexicans, right? What does it says? It says that behavior that the people is going to have within the ecosystem, the energy, the economic energy, it won't leave as much as many people assume, because that's going to be recycling back to Hex, doing all this how do you say, staking side on Hex. And I think that's even better because people will constantly do stakes trying to get those t-shirts. And right now, if you're going to have a look on iCosa Pro, you can see the exercise, and you can have all these 5 iCosa for really 50% off. If you know about the exercise, that's incredible, bullish as well. So just on that note, man, on with crypto for more, have a look on Hedron, because when Pulse Chain comes out, it's just gonna be madness, man. Like, it's even now, if you're gonna have a look, people are doing beats for t-shirts,
You don't know.
and it's just amazing. So just put it on that, for example. That will be one of my strategy on Pulse Chain, to be honest. is that he drawn on that side and doing stakes, and stakes, I mean by certificate of deposit for a period of time. And I'm gonna do it monthly. I'm gonna do it weekly, monthly, and that's gonna be something very, very good to do in the next 6 to 8 months. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, appreciate you sharing that with us for sure. I caution people about the weekly stakes. It was something a lot of people messed up on in the very beginning of Hex because they thought they could do weekly stakes out to 2+ years, and eventually gas fees on Ethereum did go high. Now, I'm
Sure,
not
sure.
saying gas fees will get so crazy on PulseChain because we're getting a great deal and diluting it by 1.2 million X and all
Yeah.
that, but I do caution everyone to at least be mindful of how it played out with people who did that on the Ethereum side and to try and learn.
Yeah.
So even myself, I had several stakes that I had done in the very beginning that was, bi-weekly and stuff like that. And when you start paying those, you just realize that I didn't need the money during that entire time. So why do I do a stake for 1 week in between if I'm not going to be trying to pull out money every single week? I can do a stake every 3 months or every 6 months. I can pay a one-time fee because a lot of the times what would happen is I would have a stake end and I would just roll it out to fucking 15 years. I was like, why did I do this stake? That was so silly.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need the money at that time, right? And so I just caution everyone to just think ahead further into the future. And I know it'd be nice to pay yourself weekly, but think about it like if you just paid yourself at least once a month, if you want to go that route, or at least quarterly, because again, when you have them ending each week, yeah, the fees are going to be next to nothing, especially with PulseChain, which is great, but give yourself a better chance to lock in more T shares by going out a little bit longer and a little bit bigger instead of separating into four stakes for 4 weeks. I'd rather just have one stake end in a month. I'm just telling you from my personal experience and how that went down that I didn't need the money to come out weekly because I'm not pulling out weekly
Well,
like
hey, TX, I
so
wanted to add, that literally you just led into my question I was going to ask you, because that literally is exactly what happened to me on the EHEX side. I got in, and this was before big payday or whatever, and I just ended up doing these bi-weekly stakes right after big payday out for like 2 years, and I'm getting smacked by ETH fees on these little bitty stakes, right? And so it
yep,
got me
yep,
thinking about how people are going to move on EHEX versus, we'll just call it HEX or PHEX, right? And so what I perceive happening over
right,
time is people who have smaller bags and who do want to take some risk by just getting in will be doing these short-term stakes on PulseChain because it's cheap and they're just new to the community, and whatever yield that they can get for 6 months or a month stake, whatever. But what do you think about how do you think profits are going to move once we start seeing these X's in Pulse Chain and PulseX into PHEX versus EHEX? Because my mindset was this. My mindset was, okay, well, let's say our sacrifices do super well. We end up doing 1,000x, 10,000x. My mindset is like, well, any stake that I'm doing for more than 5 years, I'm going to do that on EHEX because not many people are going to be staking over there.
right.
And I'm going to get way more yield. And so,
Yeah, so yeah, for sure. I got a couple of ideas there too, and I hear what you're saying. So the best way to play it is we're gonna have a four-pillar ecosystem within the Richard Heart ecosystem. The idea behind it is you want to see whichever one's going to provide the best output long term. So if you find that people aren't staking on the Ethereum hex because of either high gas fees or because they just want the newer token, which is hex on Pulse chain, and people emergency in stake and then the yield becomes something like 40%, 50%, well, a lot of people are going to start moving back into that over there.
Right.
And the idea is that you can actually set it so if you wanted to go long on the Ethereum chain and go maybe shorter ones on the Pulse chain hex side.
Right.
Because again, after, like you said, X's of 10,000x or 1,000x or many X's, folks, it allows you to pay the gas fees over on Ethereum. So don't freak yourself out because Ethereum fees suck right now. And don't try to stay away from the Ethereum side on Hex because whales are in this ecosystem, sharks are in this ecosystem, dolphins are in this ecosystem, squids, everyone's already here built in with stakes going out to 15 years. Yeah, there will be some people that pull and get out and switch it over and all that good stuff, but the majority of the individuals, I would say a good at least 70 to 80% are going to stick to the Ethereum side and they're not going to abandon
Yeah,
it.
because they're getting
So
way too
why
much
not?
yield for them to move. Like, why would you move?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so once exactly. So you're going to look to see which one's cheaper. And the same can be said, guys, when you have the gains on the Ethereum hex and you see 100x, 500x, 1000x, because again, I see the hex price reaching Bitcoin numbers of $386 in 10 years. I've said this multiple times. So let's just assume that you bought here at 5 cents and you held for the next 10 years and you get a nice little gain over there for $386. I mean, what would that end up being? Divided by, whoops, I did that one wrong. 386 divided by 0.05. Yeah, I mean, a 7,700x. That's incredible,
Yeah.
you know? So you're going to take profits from there and you're going to move them to go buy what's cheap,
Yeah.
right? And so you look for things at a discount. That's when you buy. And so I'm just going to be keeping my head on a swivel and seeing which one provides me the best value. If I see Hex over here on a dip below 10 cents on the Ethereum side earning good yield, I'm going to go get that with the profits that I've had because I know I have weak hands. It's been proven. I've been around too long that I've screwed myself over selling too early, doing simple stuff. I took out too much profit on some coins a long time ago, and I could have just held that sucker and got a good run.
Yeah.
So I've learned to take profits in a way that I can live comfortable. And again, profits for people mean different things, but I want to live a comfortable lifestyle where I don't have to worry about a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
But I also don't need to go live in a mansion, going bougie and extravagant and buying every fucking thing that I see and walking into the store and say, I got money, here we go, boom, boom, boom. Like I don't need that,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
I wanted to present
and yeah,
you with this just to continue to add on to your idea, and and kind of slow the idea down a little bit. I have a little peanut brain, right? So this is what we're talking about Hex, right, and its potential. But the more I think about what PulseChain and what PulseX is going to do, the more I realize Hex is going to run up faster than what we think. Because all of us are learning in this ecosystem, and we all know we won't hold, and we need to force ourselves to. So what are people going to do? They're just going to take
go
they're
stake their
going to
Hex.
stake fucking Hex.
Oh. Hey, I seen Money Gang had his hand up, man. What you got to say, man? What's going on?
Finally, I was waiting on Money Game.
Money Gang, what's up? Good to
What
see
up, guys? Good space already.
you. Yes.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I was, one of the things that I changed my strategy on because of the contemplations of like ETH gas fees in the future, and obviously I didn't want to get wrecked by the gas fees on that side. Was playing the arbitrage opportunity with the perpetuals because it gave me a staking ladder, but on top of that, it gave me a higher T-share rate. It also was like when I swapped my hex for one of the perpetuals, whether that be, base, lucky, trio, maxi, to switch it across, I would actually get more of that said asset, which would then make the compounding effect when my stake ends on, say, a trio, like a 3-year policy, to be even higher. So I'd be getting even more T-shares, even higher amount of the pool, and then I'm not worrying also about the gas fee as well because it's a one-time gas fee that's paid by the pool itself. And that is also, I chuck it in this kind of mix. Some people like it, some people don't, but one of the things that I really like about it is the fact that I ain't having to really worry about the gas fee, number one, but also the fact that there's an arbitrage opportunity, that you can get so much more hex, and there's going to be even bigger arbitrage opportunity when PulseChain launches, right? Because everyone's going to be a little bit more distracted. Everyone's going to be looking at other bits and bobs. You know, what kind of stakes should I make on my PHEX side, and then my hex side, and then how can I purchase more Pulse or Pulse X, or how can I purchase more Hedron or Icosa? I think a lot of people are not going to be looking at that as a big opportunity, and there'll be a heavy discount at the beginning. So it's one of the considerations. I would be interested to hear people's opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to ideas. Anyone want to talk about that stuff? I'm personally not involved with those projects, so I can't speak on behalf of them, or I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to them. I want to see one. I would love to see base work. Let me just clarify. I want to just see base work, and then I may have my mind change a little bit, but that comes in September before I can see how that plays out. Because I know how Hex works, and Hex is what got me to alleviate a lot of stress in my life, a lot of anxiety, a lot of everything. Allowed me freedom, allowed me a whole bunch of stuff. And, you know, I had the Hex mentality for a long time that everything else is not worth it. So I just want to see the projects work and play out and see how that all goes. And then I can, you know, probably want to start fathoming some more ideas. But anyone who is currently involved, again, I'm speaking from an outside perspective at this point in time. So anyone who's currently involved and more knowledgeable, guys, come up to talk, come share, and I would love to hear it as well because I'm happy to learn.
I mean, my only 2 cents on that is, you know, I love those guys and their projects. I was on the poly side and all that, but you know, things transition from being a project to a product, and you know, we want to see things battle tested. So let's see when these contracts come to full fruition and execute the final aspect of it. So to your point, I hear you, ATX. You know, it's a game of speculation, right? Like, did my due diligence and met the founders in person and all that good stuff. But, well, let's see if the numbers were correct and everything computes and adds up and washes out in the end. I mean, as great as Alex is, you know, there was a little hiccup there with some minor calculations, and he made it right with the community. But to your point, I agree with you, brother.
And on that note, I think we're forgetting that, you know, all the Shiba guys are going to get a copy on this side. And that's huge, guys. And not talk about the Chain League guys and talk about the NFT guys. This is huge, guys. Like, if people have their NFTs on their wallet, and they're gonna see that they can mint their stuff on this side, it's just no brainer. And look, even the Shiba Inu guys having a copy and they can pair it on the Pulse Chain side, it's just gonna be so absolutely great. I'm really super bullish. I'm literally drinking as much Tuscan wine as I can before this whole thing goes down.
Hey, so earlier I was on a Spaces with Poor Pleb. It was kind of small, and he's talking about his new 9-inch decks and whatnot. And you know, it be what it be. But oh my God, like the frog people, you know, the Pepe came in and whatnot. This one was like Pepe hands or paper hands, what have you. But oh my God, big things are going to happen. Like we're on the precipice here. A lot of different ecosystems are going to come in, and we all know this is exactly what we need. I've been preaching, like, we need mass adoption. We need
Exactly.
to reach out, get outside of the echo chamber. You know, everybody does their thing. So, you know, don't look if somebody's like talking to another group or, you know, listening in on Spaces, like, don't go judging a book by its cover. There's ulterior motives here, man. We're all doing our thing, reaching out. And just, you know, it all comes back to Hex. Like, people may leave, get some profits. It comes back to our store of value of Hex. We know it works, yada, yada. You know, we can play and dabble. I think PulseChain's been really good, will be really good for hexicans in general, because we need to open our minds, expand, you know, we have to be welcoming. We bought into freedom of speech, freedom of movement with our sacrifices. We put our money down. Like we put our money where our mouth is. Well, now act like it, walk the walk. We're talking the talk, walk the walk now. And let's welcome everybody. Like, this is for the greater good. Things have changed and evolved. We're evolving. So let's go.
And shout out to the hexicans in the chat. I see a lot of ladies in here. I see Georgia, you got your hand up. What's going on, Georgia? Talk.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. What an amazing space. Everybody talking and showing the love for the projects, the ecosystem, which is fantastic. Let's Hex will do well anywhere. It's the greatest performing asset that we have. So it will perform the best of any other crypto anywhere it goes. It could be the Ethereum, which I can't wait till the tree is shaking and the bad apples fall, and so we can again the tree could blossom again and give us amazing results. I'm waiting for that. We have Hex on PulseChain, which is absolutely, guys. We see millions of people chasing after a shiny object without any expectations, without knowing what they're doing. Do you think that they're not going to come to PulseChain when they know that they will have free um, coins, a copy of everything they own on the Ethereum? Of course they're going to come. Everyone will come and obtain. It will be maybe to trade it for, just to, continue with the coin they believe, or they will trade it for something else, but it's all Pulse and PulseX. So obviously it's going to be as great as Hex. I personally, I share some of the comments in this chat that Hex for me is what works better for me, because it's secure, it's immutable, it has already showing what it could be done, and for me, I like to be safe. So for me and for my children's future, I am going to continue with Hex. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to other projects, and projects like you were saying. We have amazing people like Alex who build on top of Hex. And you know what? I think Hex is a pretty good and strong foundation for any other project. And who knows, anything that comes from Richard Hart, he has shown, I don't know about you guys, but he has proof that he knows what he's talking about. He has proven that he cares about us. Tough love, yes. I posted a couple of days a videos with him being very strong and very um, um, touched about people losing their money. It's because he cares. When someone gets to a level that he's at, I'm sure there's other motivations besides money. And I think that's what I admire about him. Not only because I think he's cool and everything he's doing it's good for humanity, but because he really cares. He's a man that puts on his name attached to something that is good, and that's what I'm expecting from someone who I'm going to trust my little or a lot of money. So I think it's going to bring something we've never seen before, and it has the most important thing. Hex and Richard Hart has the most important thing, which is the community. They come and they attacked and they vampire attacked and they try to show us a shiny object so we look the other way. Why? Because we are so valuable. We are unique, just like the product, just like Hex, just like PulseChain, just like every single one in this room. We are here because we are special. So I'm very happy, and thank you guys for putting this space. It's fantastic. I know I like to talk a lot, and we have Class, another amazing woman here in this space, and Scarlett, and they're pioneers, and we're going to be pioneers at this. Yeah, vote for me, vote for me.
Hey, Georgia. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to
Hey.
do a quick shout out to all the legends that I can see in the space. I just wanted to speak about what Money Gang Crypto mentioned regarding the perpetuals firstly. I think there is a huge opportunity in terms of an arbitrage opportunity with that from ETH over to PulseChain. And I just wanted to get MoneyGang Crypto. Have you heard of Tetra and the automation that it can do? I'm not fully familiar with it yet. I am going to do a stream, I think 6 p.m. Friday Eastern Standard Time with Tetra, just to find out a bit more. So I'm not involved in the project personally. I'm not part of the Tetra gang. So MoneyGang Crypto, have you heard of Tetra? And what are your thoughts? Just to go, I'm assuming you're talking about Maximus DAO.
Yeah, big fan of Tetra. Really do like it. I spoke to the founder, and a lot of the guys in my chat are massively bullish on Tetra. It's for those that don't know, it's a automation tool where you can kind of drag and drop certain scripts that you want to implement. For example, if you were to say, I want to limit order hex at a certain price, and then I want to do it on both sides. So I want to do it on the Ethereum side and also on the PulseChain side, and you basically can run a script that you want to work. And it's extremely good for example, if you're providing liquidity, if you have, say, liquid loans and you're trying to maintain 1,000% collateralization, things like that. Very complicated scripts that you need to run that you would have to manually do. It can automate all of that. So a lot of people are very bullish on that. Some people like automation, some people don't. But I think it's a very simplistic way to kind of automate things that are very complex. Big fan.
So just going back to the perpetuals, and I know that you just mentioned arbitrage opportunities, and I think what people may not realize is that the P copy could be sold down quite severely. So I see quite a bit of opportunity there. The downside with the perpetuals I see is that you have to hold it yourself, but I need to look into the diamond hands because I think they've kind of fixed that problem or the psychology of holding with diamond hands. So I can see how that could be a massive opportunity on PulseChain in terms of people getting T shares, but still, you could just hold it in the liquid form versus maybe using diamond hands, but automate that whole process across chains. So I might present that theory over to Neil on Friday and see what he can do in terms of like making it for me. So that's the cool thing that I think. I know I keep talking about Tetra like I'm part of the team, I'm making money from them, which I'm not. But whatever you can sort of come up with your own little brain and you think that it's amazing, they can kind of do it for you, which I think is like kind of cool. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about MoneyGang Crypto was Ink, and I know that you did a stream on Ink, and I have to go and watch that stream. But some people me and my husband like completely disagree about Ink, and we usually agree about most things in our strategy. But with Ink, he sees it as like a throwaway coin because Richard Hart once said, it's his least favorite coin. But for me, for some reason, I think I'm super bullish on Ink. Of course, you would have, like, if you're providing liquidity with PLS and the pair, they're obviously giving you Ink and a significant amount of it to take into account in permanent loss. But yeah, I was interested in your thoughts on Ink.
Yeah, that's a good question. Give me 2 seconds because I wrote down a load of stuff about this, and I think it was me and ATX that were talking about it, whereby there is a certain cap on the amount that gets minted per year. So it's very easy to become a whale within, or a higher shark, for example, within the actual Ink token. I was always under the kind of jest or the idea that Richard just wanted to throw it away. However, I like the fact that it's kind of capped in the amount that is available. Actually, ATX, you can speak on this quite well because I know that you've done a bit more research than me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Ink token. So, Klaus, I'm right there with you. One, shout out to Georgia, just adopted a Malinois. So, love anyone who rescues puppies. It hits my heart. We got 4 rescues at the house. So, love you, Georgia, for that. And then
Thank you, love.
Klaus, of course, yeah, Klaus, to go through with the incentive token, it's actually pretty interesting because essentially there will be roughly about 36 million tokens created per year. So the way it works is there will be one incentive token released per minute is how the system is designed, making it essentially 36 million in a year because there's 36 million minutes in a year. Anyways, long story short, the idea behind it is it will actually become slowly more and more deflationary. So the first year that it gets made, there'll be massive inflation. The second year that it's out, it's going to inflate by double, right? Because again, it'll go from 36 million to 72 million. And then from the third year, that's when it slowly starts to become deflationary, kind of like Bitcoin, where you have a max of 21 million supply. Well, massive inflation in the very beginning, but the third year, you're adding 36 million now to 72 million, so only adding a third of the position or half. So it's actually less. And then the fourth year, it's even less. And the fifth year, it's even less. The real benefit behind I would say behind the incentive token that a lot of people don't know about is they allow the ability for it to also be burned just like PulseX, okay? So there will be things created in the future, is my guess, that essentially will allow you to, anyone who's burned tokens, maybe get airdrops. Anyone who wants to burn tokens and get different things, that'll be just how it is. Now, in the very beginning, the yield returned is going to be very, very high because the way the yield farms work is the same as Hex. The lower people, or the less people that are providing yield farming, the higher the yield is, and the more people that become into that farm or into that pool, the APR or APY will start decreasing. So if you can get in early, you could potentially stack a massive, massive bag of the incentive token and then just hold it for a little while, okay? Like, you don't have to do anything crazy. I know all of us just want to start dumping things and start taking profits right away, and that's cool. I'm a fan of just kind of letting it see how it plays out. And if you do want to take some profits along the way, that's cool. But I don't think it's a perpetual dump token because I've said this before, Richard Hart doesn't make shitty things. So even though the incentive token is least on his list, that does not mean that it's going to be a shitty token. Okay? So I am of the belief that, once again, the incentive token could have different things in the background, but just know that at this point in time, from what we know, yeah, it is a dump token. I can say from what we know now, from what's available to us in the context of what we've seen with testnet and everything, it is going to be a dump token. But that doesn't mean that it's something that you should dump, because it's something that you may regret in the future when something comes out.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick. What?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, how many times have we seen it with different projects? You know, Hedron's a perfect example. A lot of people had little yay faith or what have you, didn't know much about it, and bam, you know, something was built upon it, up on top of it, and now we have Icosa and a larger ecosystem. So just, you can't judge a book by its cover. Just because something looks
Right.
singular, you know, people are always building. Like, how many times do we always hear everybody is always building something upon a rewarding, you know, I mean, this ecosystem's silly. There's a bunch of mini ecosystems within the whole pulse chain, system. We haven't even gotten there yet, and there's already, like, that's mind blowing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I would love to see what Danny has to say too. But yeah, to shout out to Vets on that one, I will honestly speak to that behalf as well. I dumped a lot of Hedron in the beginning, and then I regretted it later, right? But at the same time, because I thought it was that token. But we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You just move forward. Don't look backwards, and don't, live with accept what you decided to do. But what are you going to do going forward? And that's what you have to change. So I would love to hear Danny's perspective too.
I don't think Vets can hear me. I know he's been having some trouble. So if you can't hear me, Vet, well, it won't matter. If you can't hear me, then you can't do what I'm asking to do.
Vets, can you hear Danny right now? Just give us a thumbs up if you can
you
hear
me.
him.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Negative. I can't. I don't know if I'm rugged. He's rugged. I don't know.
Vets
Yeah,
is
everyone
rugged.
else can hear Danny right now. So yeah, I think it's just you. But yeah, if you want to either hop off and I'll bring you back on when you're back in, because I think he wants to talk
It's
to
all
you.
good. No, I don't have anything that important to say. But what I'm thinking about through this whole discussion, I think all these other tokens are great, and I think some will do well. I mean, who knows? what's going to happen. But there's this mindset, especially in crypto, especially on crypto Twitter, that if you're not first, you're not going to make it. There's this day one mentality that, man, that's why people are always searching for if I can just get in first, I can just get in first. Man, we got 6-cent hex right now, guys. The question we got to ask ourselves, do I have enough hex? Do I have enough hex? I know it's hard to buy red candles. Very,
Never enough
very
X.
hard to buy red candles, but I can't, and this is not financial advice, but for me, I can't see a better buy in crypto right now other than hex. I just can't.
At
I just
all.
can't see it personally.
At all.
Maybe somebody else can see it, but I can't. And PulseChain's going to drop, and you're going to get a free copy.
Hey, motherfuckers is buying Zen, dog. So
And
that's the
people can buy
problem.
with because everybody wants to be early. I get it. Everybody wants to be the first on ink. Everybody wants to be the first on this token and the next token and the next token. I get it. I'm telling you, Richard's doing PulseChain for hex. That's the whole point of it. Because gas fees got too high on Ethereum, people couldn't end their stakes because the gas fees were more than the stake was worth. He saw this and said, man, we got to have a chain that people can use hex on and not get crushed. It's the whole reason for this. Of course, it's blown into something huge because it's just what's happened, and that's fantastic. And I'm a big proponent of having every token in the world on it. That's fantastic. I'm all for it. But I can't see a better
Right.
move right now than buying hex personally. That's my own opinion. It's not financial advice. Y'all do whatever you want. And I think that will ring true for quite some time. I think any buy under 10 cents is just a steal, personally. This is for those who don't feel like they have a big enough bag. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, and then here's the best part about that, Danny, is when Hex hits $1 and eventually goes up to 10, people are gonna say anything at $1 is a steal. So it is
Mm-hmm.
about perspective. It is about the time. It is about all of that, and it's just about like where you entered at and all that as well. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And I know we all want to see 1,000x or 5,000x or anything like that. But guys, if you find quality crypto and you DCA into it for 2 years during a bull run, you fucking win. Okay, you just win. And I think that's a lot of people don't realize that is that, like Danny said perfectly, everyone wants to be first. You don't have to be first to win. The people who are first doesn't mean they're going to make it either. Because just because you got in first and early, you're probably going to be one of the people who exit too early as well. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that information. Sometimes you also want to see it tried and true and tested, and you don't want to be the first person who's in on a brand new system or a brand new token, because there are rug pulls in crypto. So it does pay off sometimes being a little bit slower. So yes, what Danny said is 100% accurate on this one, guys. Like, we don't have to be first. You don't have to, to anyone getting in on PulseChain, PulseX, whatever new tokens are coming along. Like, you don't have to get in first and try to rush these deals. Like, sometimes you just want to make sure that you're making the best decision for yourself. You find quality over quantity. Don't go with the shotgun style of looking for crypto. There's 20,000 cryptos out there now. You're not gonna fucking make it if you do that. Okay. But Georgia, I would love to
It,
hear what you have to say.
very, very, very short, adding to what Danny just said. We're pre-viral, guys. When the highest of stakes come out and the people start discovering Hex and Richard Hart, this is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to get eHex at this price. And we're going to be lucky to be able to get PHEX from the beginning. But this is like very, very important. It's going viral, and I don't think we're going to go back to, maybe we'll go a little bit when the tree shakes, maybe the bad apples fall, and we're going to go a little bit lower. But I'm not going to take a risk and lose this price. I'm not. Because 6 cents in 6 years from now, 5 years, 15 years, it's going to be nothing. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for, I'm sorry, Money, I jump in front of you. I apologize.
Yeah, no issues. One of the other points I wanted to jump on, and Danny was saying about it, is actually one of the things that people haven't considered is the economic energy that kind of swells into Hex after. So you think if people are making some gains in different things on Pulse Chain, let's say PulseX or Pulse. I know a prominent guy who did a sacrifice phase for Paw Pleb, right? And the money that was raised from that sacrifice, I know him personally put in way more into Hex because he wanted to make his positions firmer. He wanted to have a better position and he wanted to have a better staking ladder. And that's what you're going to start to see, is that you're going to start to see a lot of gains being made in multiple different things, whether that be Hedron, Icota, whether that be PulseX, Pulse, all these other derivatives as well. And the economic energy will start to swell into Hex as well. As people start to make those gains, they'll start to put a portion of that within Hex itself. And then, how does the community grow in the next bull run, and then the bull run after that in terms of size wise? And then VC money as well. Like one of the considerations is that as we go in time, and as maybe the gains aren't going to be as big in crypto, a lot of people are going to be looking for yield-based protocols that they can park their money and earn interest on, and which crypto is kind of doing that the best. I think we start to see a lot more VC money coming in, and also looking for yield-based protocols like Hex.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, guys, you have to realize doing a 30-day stake gets some 9% yield. If you come in with $1 million, which a lot of these VCs have hundreds of millions of dollars, even doing $10 million, if they can just get a slight position and build a slight bag and just do 30-day stakes, earning 9% yield for them is a good yield, because they most of the time will do good things for 5%, 4%. We've seen people do that with BlockFi and Voyager and all the other shit that went down. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Klaus, what's up?
I just firstly wanted to back up what Danny was saying in regards to Hex. And I know when I speak, I often go into some of my nuanced strategies, but I just wanted to clarify that 80 to 90% of my strategy revolves around Hex. So for the last 2 years, we have been DCAing into Hex to get our average price down, which we have done successfully. The amount or target amount of Hex that we first targeted, I think we surpassed by like a 10x. So I was pretty stoked with that. So the fact that, there's been this delay to launch has definitely been, it's in my interest that there was a delay given the bear market. I think what my theory is, I mean, if you look at the price of Hex on PulseChain, it's $8. And how would Richard reward loyalty in the Hexican community through what I would call a shakeout period? If you made Hex on PulseChain more valuable than Hex on Ethereum, that would be the only way that I can kind of calculate in my head how he would really reward people that survive the shakeout. So I really feel, especially in the last month or two, even some of the most loyal people have suffered from the shakeout. And I don't blame them for that. Life's tough, financially for a lot of people with all the interest rates, etc. But that's, I really feel that we will be rewarded for our loyalty. I think Hex is, the success of Hex is the ultimate goal of the whole PulseChain ecosystem. So I just wanted to make it clear what my main goals and strategies are. And now that I've kind of secured my EHEX position, that's why I talk about all these other strategies that come out of my mouth. But just to be clear, that's in like my 10 to 15% speculation kind of territory.
Yeah,
I appreciate you sharing
that's
that.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. I see the same thing. I wanted to clarify something. I said 1 incentive per minute. It's actually 1 incentive token per second. So just to make sure that everyone has a better understanding of that. Yeah, the guys, like I think Danny said it, Klaus said it. We've all had our foot in the door in Hex for a lot longer than PulseChain has been around for a lot of us. And Hex is the real key in the ecosystem. Like, it's what you look for when you're looking for crypto. And so I know a lot of us are looking for mad gains, but y'all are gonna want to find somewhere to properly do that. And instead of say you take $1,000 and it turns into $1 million, well, what if, for example, you took 500,000 of that, for example, and you moved it into Hex and you set yourself up a nice little ladder in that way and paid yourself once a year. And maybe you do that on bull market times, or maybe you do it at the end of a bull market so you're not paying high gas fees. I don't know when you decide to do it, but that is the idea. And what if you can do that sooner rather than later? You can get yourself more T-shares because T-shares always go up and to the right. And so it's just one of those things that at the end of the day, I think all the money is going to eventually flow back into Hex. But I've said this so many times, we have a beautiful four-pillar ecosystem where if you can set yourself a nice foundation, you're going to be able to live in the world of crypto, which is going to be glorious. And then you take, say, your lottery ticket run, like your friend Sumi has mentioned, or like Klaus just said, you take 10, 15% and you go have fun with different projects, but your breadwinners stay your breadwinners, and you move that into a brand new wallet and you go have a DGen wallet, and then you go have fun with new projects if you really want to. But yes, I think at the end of the day, people are going to look and it's very tough to hold a lot of money, guys. It's very tough to see your wallet go from small numbers to big numbers and then back to small numbers again and act like you're not going to get emotional. It will affect your emotions. It will affect your mood. It will affect how you go about your day. You're going to open your wallet at the beginning of a good night's sleep and you wake up early in the morning and you see your wallet's down $20,000, $50,000, $100,000. You might just be upset instantly for the rest of the day. However, if you can delay that and stake it, then you relieve that fucking stress from your mind. And that's what I think a lot of people are missing. And that's what I found when I found Hex. It was this literally weight lifted off my shoulder, was like all the stress, everything that I was worrying about. I was like, cool, I'm good in the future. I know I'm covered. This is glorious. And I think that's what we're all waiting for.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about Hex, man. I got a guy in one of my Telegram group, and he did, at the height of the bull run, he was looking at his wallet. It was 6.5 million, but he was staked out. So he's like, why do I care about the 6.5 million? Yeah, and it was there, right? $6.5 million. And he's like, wow, I want to go up. I know where Hex is projected to go, so I'm not worried. My average stake length is 8 years, so it doesn't really matter to me. He was in like day one pretty much, so, and I loved his mentality towards it. And he was just like, yeah, it's going to be crazy in the next 5, 6 years. So
I would
that's
love
going to be
I would
nice.
love to clarify something because I'm a math guy. So guys, $6.5 million at the peak at 56 cents would be roughly around 11 million some odd hex. Now, right now, that same 6.5 million is only 580,000. I say only on
Only.
purpose because I say that on purpose. I know I got very, very particular with my words when I say this because you had just lost $6 million. And if you don't think that's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form, you're fooling yourself. But how did this person get through it? They got through it because they understand the staking principle, the minting principle, the mining principle, whatever the fuck it's called. They understand how that system works. They understand the contract. They spent time to do the research and have a very good understanding. They've gone down the rabbit hole of how it works. I do advise everyone at least take some time to go learn yourself some things about how that works, why they can live with losing $6 million. Okay, they didn't lose it, okay, because they still have the hex in that bag. And not only do they have the hex in that bag, they've earned more hex during that entire time because of the T-shares that they have. So now instead of 11 million hex, they may be sitting on 13 million hex. And yeah, it may only be worth 600,000 at this time, but knowing what it's back at just the peak bull market, you're back up to 9 million at that time. So please, please do yourself a favor and understand that y'all are going to have an experience similar to what we're talking about right here. Whether it's millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, you will have an experience similar to what we're talking about. And what are you going to do and how do you prepare? We had Balliot on our stream earlier with myself and Westcott on Pulse Nation. If y'all missed that stream, I highly would advise checking that out as well. That was an awesome stream. But sudden wealth syndrome is a real thing. When you see yourself, like We aren't winning the lottery. We have fucking delayed gratification for 2 years. That money has been sacrificed and delayed. Like some people are gonna say, "Oh, you got lucky. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. Oh, you should just take profits. Oh, you like all that shit is gonna your head. Everyone's gonna try to tell you what to do at that point in time, like they know what the fuck to do. And I just want y'all to realize that you gotta brush out the white. You gotta brush that noise away. You have to be comfortable with what's about to happen. You have to be comfortable with going from 4 figures to 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures, back down to 6, back down to 5. Danny said it best. We're in this bitch till 2025 at least. At least. That is when the fucking bull market comes, and that is when you want to look to take some real profits at that time. That is when you can live a nice, comfortable lifestyle. And then when the bear market hits in 2026 toward the end, then you're going to be able to DCA back in that bitch and buy even lower. And guess what? By the time 2029 rolls around, you're going to be fucking doubling your stack, 10 times X in your stack. So please, long-term vision, folks. Zoom the fuck out. Long-term vision.
That's so real, man. On that note, I don't know if you guys have the same situation, but my friends and family think I'm crazy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it's been such a long ride that it's crazy because people like, hey, man, you said that PULSECHAIN was coming up, but you're still here, right? And then you turn on Twitter, and guess what? It's literally 1 million retweet. I just want to point that out, and we haven't even launched yet. That's huge, man. That's incredible. So, even if you have your friends and family or your wife telling you that you're a loser, just hold on, man. Just really hold on because I think, Richard Hart is his project, guys. He ain't gonna fuck around. And he's not going to find out. So, he's gonna make sure that this project is gonna at least do the same performance that Hex did. And I personally think that's one of the things that is keeping me very motivated to see what's going to happen on Pulse X as well, because I think we don't really know what's the buy and burn is going to happen. So just putting it out there.
And that's the amazing thing, man. Like reality really like snuck in. I was in London. I did a bit of Hex meetup fairly recently, and I was sat in a room. The net worth of like the 6 guys that were in that room was over 100 million. Guys who have been in Hex, some of them day one, some of them have been in. I remember one guy, and I got told this by one of the other guys. It wasn't them directly. It was someone saying to me as I was leaving the room, like, you do know how much that guy is worth or how much he's earned from crypto. And a lot of these guys were in Hex. And that was when the reality really sunk in, because it was, you hear of stories, you hear of like experiences, and some people aren't willing to share their net worth. But then when you see it and you see those guys and they talk about it, and then someone else is telling you, hey, that guy's net worth is this, and this is how much he's made in the last run, it was kind of the reality sunk in, and I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path here. That was the thing, right? I got family, friends that think sometimes that I'm crazy. That there's some, these realities do exist, and the reality of it was in my face. I was talking to people who were in that place, and it was like, oh wow, okay. One guy, all he does all day is play tennis. That's what he wants to do. He smokes cigars and play tennis, and that's what we're smoking. Because he's retired. I asked him what he does. He's like, I'm completely retired from Hex, and I just play tennis and go to Wimbledon. That's what he likes to do.
And I think, like, for instance, a lot of people not having experience, walking into a crypto project since the beginning, because a lot of people see like what Ethereum did, what Shiba did, what Bitcoin did, what Hex did. A lot of people haven't experienced that, and I think PulseX has bring a lot of people to to really trying to go and experience that. And I think as soon as this project do 1,000x, 10,000x, I think a lot of not influencers, but representative within the ecosystem will emerge, because they're going to have that economic sort of back that will help them to sort of get out there and maybe put their faces in YouTube, or
or do more meetups, and that's something that nobody talks about. And I pretty believe that even in the other chats, like a lot of people, will hope and will think that as soon as these big numbers come to play, they're gonna start, go around even Australia or even going around Europe in summertime. And that's huge because if you have the economic power to do that, a lot of people will do that. I
Yeah, I
hope
was
I
gonna.
wasn't talking to myself.
Nope,
No,
you can
no,
hear
yeah.
you.
Okay.
Well, what do you guys think about this? We have this community that's been built ever since Richard Hart's been on, and of course it's got catapulted since Hex, and now you have this huge, massive educational community, and it's still encapsulated and blocked off from the major players, from major exchanges. But PulseChain presents this opportunity for things to kind of go mainstream in a different type of way, for it to actually be on Coinbase, and for it to be at the forefront of the crypto community with uh with this massive, massive, massive social media presence. That's It's like it's seen, but it's not acknowledged. What do y'all think about that, as far as just network effect and everything that comes along with that? Because earlier you guys were talking about us being able to embrace outsiders. Well, I think that's going to be forced upon the community. There's no choice. If this thing goes to Coinbase and everything like that, and you have a BitBoy and all these other guys, you know.
I mean, the beautiful part about, the even mere thought about an exchange is that they have to buy it in order for it to be listed. So that is a beautiful aspect of that, because it's not going to be given to them like so many other projects will have an allocation listing for centralized exchanges. And with our tokens, they will have to buy them. So if they are at that point in time where we are on centralized exchanges, that just means that they are also buying, okay? Which is massive.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of it too is a lot of the times people, in terms of like the overall aspect of communities, if if you're hearing somebody, like God, like I remember my mother-in-law talked about Shiba at 2021. I've been talking to her about Hex for fucking ever, trying to get her into Hex. And then she's like, I want to go buy some Shiba. And I was like, what in the flying fuck? That is how you know when the top is, okay? So if you start hearing that kind of stuff happen, be ready, because that's probably top signal stuff. You know what I mean? And hopefully you got in early enough to be able to take out any profits if you're holding liquid at that time. So eventually, yeah, we'll get there. But that's how we end up also becoming the Bitcoin, the $386 hex. All those things are years down the road. I don't think it happens quickly. And then you have the staking mechanism, which is even better. So if they aren't even staking, and you are staking, then you're just winning even better, right? So there's a lot to that for sure.
Yeah, because I look at what's
Hey
happening.
man,
Yeah,
I gotta.
sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yep.
gonna break in with something that's pretty funny. Ever since Fiat launched Fiat.io, where you can short hex, the price has done nothing but go
Yeah.
up since that shorting
Hmm.
service opened. My buddy just texted me, reminded me of that. I was like, holy shit, that's right. People have been begging to short hex for all this time. Now you get to have fun, baby.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Facts on facts. All right, I seen Florentine's hand up first, so go ahead, Florentine, and then Vets, you'll
Yeah.
be up
So
next.
yeah, just on what Twin Fan was saying, I look this. I may be negative on this, but I think just because Pulse Chain and PulseX is a Richard Hart project, is gonna get gatekept for a little bit at the beginning. But then I think the community will come across and it's gonna make so much noise that for like Coin Market Cap, for the Binance people, all that kind of gatekeep, they're gonna have to loose it up a lot.
But I hope I'm wrong, right? Like I hope that those people that is being gatekeeping Hex that way is, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that, maybe we'll never need them, because at the end of the day, Hex did 10,000 X without them. But I think there's gonna be a lot of hate towards Reacher, and that's when the community has to, push into the right direction. I hope I'm
But
wrong
don't you
though.
think that these guys, a lot of these guys, are secretly invested or secretly sacrificed? Like
Sure.
secretly,
Yeah,
they
sure.
sacrificed, and you got these major influencers who have ties to these bigger platforms and exchanges and even coin marketing sites. They're all secretly in sacrificed, so they're going to be pushing this to the mainstream more than our community. I'm just kind of looking at it from that lens of looking at a Coinbase who, yeah, they're backed by BlackRock, but they saw how quickly they can get rubbed. And they said, oh, you know what? We can, 60% double our bag by just saying, you know what? We got USDC over here on PulseChain. You know what I'm saying? What's up? Let's make our bag bigger real quick and make sure we shore up our own company. I'm thinking about it profit wise. Because forget Richard Hart, they're thinking about their money at the end of the day. That's how I'm thinking about it.
That's facts, man. Yeah, for sure. Money Gang, I seen your hand. Sorry, Vets. I saw your hand up first, then the Money Gang.
Yeah, real quick. I think going back, the only thing that popped in my mind was like, different streams that we come across about, regardless, with Matty Allen and, just getting your crypto mindset and sudden wealth syndrome. Like, peeps, if you haven't gone through, whether in the stock market with dealing with the short squeeze to seeing something go up and to the right, like the dopamine, the adrenaline, the chemicals that get released in your brains and make you just see goo goo gaga, like it's a thing. And it's like you don't think straight, and all these funny weird things, and FOMO becomes amplified by like 100%. Like, take to heart these other alternative type streams that are talking about your mental wellness and your mindset and sudden wealth syndrome, and just prepare yourself, because it's gonna melt minds. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with that. And like I said, man, the dopamine hit works, and then you also have a very sad hit too, and then you see anger and emotion. So, definitely work on getting your emotions in check, because just because you have wealth, it typically will amplify your worst traits. So, if you aren't necessarily the best at handling certain situations, you may not do so well whenever you start seeing that wealth increase either. So, definitely work on self and mental state too. But what's up, Money Gang?
Yeah, I've liked some of the points, and the other thing I'd like to mention is, how does PulseChain compete with Ethereum? And I've been considering this a lot. For a long time it was the Bitcoin network, and then they moved to Ethereum because Ethereum, you can build smart contracts, and you look at the history of crypto, you think about it. Ethereum has a big problem, right? We all know what it is. It's gas fees, it's the scalability, the issues that they're having with that, and that doesn't look like, until they're able to shard the network, and that could be a very, very long time. They still have these major issues, and PulseChain coming in as a direct fork makes it very bullish, but also the things that have been built around it, the forks that are coming across onto it, is going to make it an extremely interesting competitor. And then what you need to take into account, I was listening to Ivan on tech, and I'm really interested in kind of like layer zero, and the ability of layer zero blockchains to be able to move assets from one chain to another or provide cross chain liquidity pools. So the need for like individual networks may change. We may start to see it not becoming so significant. But the most important thing when you consider that, when you take that out of the picture, is community and use of that chain. So the popularity of a chain becomes more important, and the community behind it becomes more important as multiple chains can interact easier, and cross-chain solutions start to happen. So I'm really interested in that, and we've got such a firm, strong community that could be a real run as one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant chain. It's one of the considerations that's been going through my head recently.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree on that. And yeah, so like they've already come up with a couple of the cross-chain stuff. One of them being Power City. If any of y'all haven't had a chance to like check that out yet with portalxswap.io, it's pretty awesome thing. They also have revoke abilities on there, so you can revoke permissions. They also have limit orders on there. So, shout out Power City for making that. And definitely something that I have been quite a fan of when looking at that too. Let me add some people up in here real quick as a speaker and see what they got to say. So come on in, come on up.
Just a heads up,
Yours.
we'll be wrapping up in about 10 minutes, so make sure you get what you want to say out. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired, y'all. I've been drinking too much, but let's continue on.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, sure can. Okay.
Oh, okay, excellent. Hello, boys and girls, everyone. Look, I've got this question, but I've been trying to get it answered for a while now, and I haven't been able to get a definitive answer. But yeah, maybe someone here in the chat can help me. So my question is pre-bridge, right? There's all this trading, ratio trading happening, yeah. Coins going backwards and forwards between one coin and another coin, another asset. So I don't know, in particular, Pulse, how would this affect the price once the bridge is open, or will it not affect the price when that monetary value is brought into the ecosystem? Will that pre-bridge trading activity dictate the price of a certain asset at launch or not?
Yes, good and bad, because you don't know what the price is going to end up being at. And by the time everyone's done all the swaps and ratios and all that stuff, and all you're seeing is ratio the entire time, when the bridge comes in and you can see real world dollar value, you may end up in a wreck position. Because, for example, say you have, say you have 1 million hex, okay? And say you wanted to get some pulse chain because you didn't sacrifice. So you decide to swap your hex on pulse chain to pulse. Now, again, whatever that ratio is, I don't exactly know, but let's just use this as an example. And you get everything swapped over. Well, let's just say the bridge comes in, and all of a sudden, because everyone swapped out or everyone got in or everyone did so many things, the price of hex on pulse chain starts at $1. I'm just using this as an example. Let's just say it starts at $1 because of all the ratio trading. Everything's already done. Everything's going to be done by ratios. So when the bridge comes in, it's still, the ratios are all the same, but now there's a dollar value. At that point in time, you would have had $1 million in worth of hex had you just held your hex. And out of all the swapping, you may only have 100,000 pulse because of all the swapping, right? So it's very dangerous when it comes to ratio trading, which is why it's not advised to do anything in the very beginning. And if you do, I would not do more than 10% of your bag. But again, everyone's going to do their own thing. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but yes, it will affect the price when the price comes in, because we don't know what the price will be. But based on how the ratio tradings work and how the swaps happen and where the ratios end up when the price comes in, you're going to see at that point in time what the value is.
Hey, I ain't ratio trading shit, man. What we ratio? Hold your positions and buy with fresh capital. I ain't ratio trading shit.
Yeah, I hope that helped answer the question okay, though.
Back.
Sort of. I still don't understand the mechanism. Like, let's say there's 1 million pulse on supply, period, right? It's just capped. pre-bridge. But a lot of people pre-bridge buy that Pulse coin. Did I say ratio? Liquidity, sorry, supply of coins. Let's say they buy it. Now there's only 500,000 left. Because of that pre-bridge activity reducing the supply of Pulse, during launch, it'll double itself. Is that right? Is that the mechanism, or just trying to work out the mechanism, how would it affect the price if there's no price to begin with?
Yeah, I guess I just
The
don't.
price is not going to be determined by the ratio swapping pre-bridge. The price is going to be determined by whoever sets the first LP pool with real value / pulse in a liquidity pool. And then the very next
Right.
trade will
Okay.
determine the price. Whatever your ratios that you own are that you swapped pre-bridge and pre-LP, you will find that out.
You will find that out, but it doesn't affect
Correct.
it.
So
I gotcha.
it's the inversion
Yeah.
of what you're talking about. It's the LP provider initially that sets the rate. The next actual swap sets the market price, and whatever you're sitting in is what you're sitting in at that point.
No, I gotcha. Yeah. So those coins, it's just being shuffled around, but it's not going to pre-breed. It's just being shuffled around with other people, right? So you either got more of certain coins or less of a certain coin, but that doesn't affect the price when that monetary value is brought in. That's determined by the liquidity providing. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't affect the price. I was hoping it did affect the price. Like if everybody traded for Pulse pre-bridge, it had some sort of impact on the price, but it sounds like it doesn't.
No, the initial price is always set by the initial LP provider.
But again, to clarify, yeah, 100%. Mando's 100% correct on that, no doubt. But whatever you end up ratio trading, and once that LP position is set, you're just stuck with whatever it is at that time. So that's why it's very dangerous too.
Very dangerous.
Yep, got it. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Nice to see you, Corey. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'll tell you what, for you guys who are going to be using Hex and PulseX to go in the Pulse, I'm going to be going the opposite direction. So I'm hoping that narrative stays around. It's been preached for the last 2 years in the community, and I'm going to take advantage the other way.
Corey, don't tell my secrets, man. What are you saying?
Corey on to something, bro. Don't follow the sheep.
Corey, you know there's so many people coming into this thing that it's gonna be like a Mack truck slamming into a Mack truck, man.
You don't know.
That is a fact. I can agree with that.
Yo, my game plan changed so many times. Like, bro, I thought I had it made, and every week I got a new game plan. So I'm with you.
But you guys are right. I mean, 99% of my onboards who I onboard, man, I tell them to sit on their damn hands until after all the fireworks clear. That's that's it.
Bingo.
But I will
let the trade
ratios.
Let the trade come to you. Don't chase the trade. Let it come to you. You'll know when to push the button.
Yeah, and you can be adaptive with it, right? Like it all depends on how it all pans out, right? We all have a bit of an idea of what we think will happen, but obviously we'll see. We'll just see what dumps first and what goes up first, you know.
The only reason why I say be careful on it is because you can set yourself back months of work by doing it for just being impatient by a few days. Okay, the bridge is like it's gonna launch a couple days after PulseChain mainnet goes live. So how bad? Yeah. So like I just caution everyone, because if you ratio trade, once that liquidity position is provided and all that stuff, and you see what the dollar value is, you look back at that and you're like, fuck, it's gonna take me to get a nice little 50x in order to make up what I did on the ratio trading, and that could be months or 30 days. I don't know, but like, be very careful, folks. Very careful.
But if I see that pulse being 1 pulse to 10 PulseX, you know I'm gonna swap 20% of my bag. Pulse, favorite PulseX and that.
Facts. Facts.
Hey,
Someone wants to be silly like that, man. Flipping out.
right. Yeah, that could be a quick one and a good little quick profit too. So, yeah, I mean, my numbers, I said 15, dude. If I see 1 to 15, y'all silly. But again, that's gonna be a small portion of my bag. Yeah, like when I say this, guys, I mean a very fucking small portion of my portfolio in that position for my Pulse to swap into Pulse X would be a very small bet because I don't need to swap at all. I'm not trying to play like I caution everyone to try to avoid trying to hit a home run every time you swing. I'm using this one a lot lately because a lot of people understand it, but we don't have to hit a home run every time you go up to bat. Okay? You just you fucking don't. We just want to get to first base. Okay, so you can make it further into the future, and then you want to get to second base. Okay,
Slow
so
and steady, slow and
yeah,
steady,
slow and
guys.
steady, baby. Like
Yep.
straight up, slow and steady,
That's
baby. Like, cause y'all motherfuckers be coming up here being like, I'm gonna swing all I can and fucking pop, and then just swing and a miss, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think that
it's
was
not
gonna go
Las
that way.
Vegas, guys. It's not Las Vegas. It's the
Yeah, I
real
was about
thing.
to say that. I was literally about to say that. I feel like loads of people have a traders kind of. One of the issues you'll get because you got a lot of people will sacrifice and they got so many coins that they won't value the individual value of each coin. So that will be one of the downfalls, right? They'll see, okay, I've got X amount of Pulse or Pulse X or whatever it is, right? Whatever the copy is. And those things don't price in until we get into runs, right? Into ball runs or things like that. So you don't see the individual value of it, and particularly pre-bridge, you don't see the individual value of it. You just see numbers, and that's one of the issues. Is like you see, I've got say 100,000, a million of these things, and no one really values the token until there's a dollar figure to it. So yeah, we've got to be cautious with that. This isn't playing games. This is
Yeah, my fear is
real
everyone gonna be
GM
acting
betting.
like we're still on testnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not Monopoly. It's not Las Vegas. It's not like, please,
Yeah,
guys.
they could be like paper money. Oh shit, this is real money. Oh fuck.
I'm telling you because from my own experience, guy. I lost everything on the first test net. So please be very careful, especially for the new people out there. I'm sure there's a lot of new people just like me who is the first time I'm gonna have like an engine like pulse chain coins and pulse X. So be very, very
Georgia, you were going ham, woman. What did you do?
I did I don't even know what I
I
did.
gotta know too. Like, goddamn,
You
girl, what
damn
you
lost everything on testnet.
You know what? I lost everything. Yes, because I didn't have much in my test net. I had just like PulseX and the sacrifice stuff. But uh, it's a long story. And now that will never happen to me again. That's for sure. I've learned from my own mistakes, and God bless Richard for giving us the test net, so people like me could practice and at least know which button I'm pressing. A lot of you guys have been doing this for years. This is my first year actually doing this. So the only thing I need to know is how to buy and how to stake. That's all I want to do now. So that's pretty good for me. So
And
guys,
I'll give you
before
guys some advice too. Like if you're buying Hex to try to get Pulse or Pulse X, don't swap it pre-bridge. Hold on to your Hex for like a month
Yeah.
after that bridge comes in. Let it
100.
gain some massive value from all the
Yeah.
hexicans coming over and buying it, and
Yeah.
then do your swap.
Yeah, 100%.
Hex
Sound
is
advice.
precious, precious to me. I
Oh, I
will.
love my Hex, and I'm going after a shit ton of P Hex. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
But
my
if
No.
it helps to you guys, if it helps, that's what I do. My hex are not mine; they're my children. So I will not play or touch their future.
I like that one.
College fund, their new car when they turn 18 or 23 or 25, whatever. I am not touching that because it's not mine. It's theirs. The
Wow.
same way put away money for your kids, $5, $10 in those gift cards, and I know because I ask me where the money's at for those all those, birthday cards, the $100, the $50. Yeah, I'll put it later. I'll put it later. No, I'm not touching hex. That's my children's future. Period.
Woo! Damn. And that's a perfect way to end the stream. Y'all hear that? Don't touch your hex. The hex is for the kids, y'all. Hex.
Yep. The, for for the
Hey,
kids.
Westcott, I want to thank you, man, for hosting a great space
Of
along
course.
with ATX. We
Oh,
need fresh blood. We need some open AI post chain conversations that are not harsh to environment and new people coming in. I've
mhm.
loved your content. Appreciate you guys very much. I will say this. We're looking at $40 to $70 swaps on Ethereum 340 days before the next Bitcoin having already.
Disgusting.
Woo! God.
When
Oh, can you
post
imagine the
chain
bull
goes
run?
live, and this time there is an Ethereum parallel universe with everything on Pulse Chain, and we're running penny swaps with everything that Pulse Chain has. And you have all the degens in the freaking world, okay, that will buy anything. They're buying dog shit. They're buying cat shit. They're buying rat shit. Do you think that these people are not going to come over that Pulse Ramp bridge? Do you think that the haters, the individuals out there that keep talking, do you think that they're stupid enough to not buy a bag of Pulse Chain even though they hate it or they say in quotes that they don't like it? Every investor in crypto that I know with big bags, they have a part of their portfolio where they will go into shit they don't even like because they know it's going to pump. And you know that I'm telling you the truth. So all the altcoin dailies in the world are going to have fat bags of Pulse Chain. It doesn't matter what they say. It's just like Jamie Dimon, who told you Bitcoin's a scam and the next day bought it after he dumped it. It's the same shit, man. And
PvP.
there's massive amounts of economic energy being built up for Pulse Chain right now. There is massive amounts of protocols by large dev teams that nobody even knows about that already has those protocols ready to go right now. There's major companies that are going to be building on Pulse Chain that nobody knows about right now. This is the reality of it. The shit that's going to happen on Pulse Chain is going to be massively explosive. And any of the larger exchanges that like to make money would be very stupid to treat Pulse Chain like a redheaded stepchild, especially when there's only one opportunity at an initial launch price. Okay?
Facts. Oh my God.
They're all facts. They're all facts.
Facts
So,
on facts.
yeah. So,
It's a
guys,
time for a
we are
mic
going to
drop.
witness something amazing. It's going to be amazing. Hex is going to be at the heart of it. And yes, it was designed for Hex. And yes, I believe Richard Hart, our man, is going to reward his warriors handsomely.
Oh no.
Hey, shout out to everyone who tuned in on this Pulse
Yeah.
Nation Spaces with myself and Westcott. We do
Yes.
this every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So set this in your calendars. Make sure to set up the reminders. Put on the notification bell so you can see when it goes live. Follow every single one of these lovely individuals who are up here speaking right now, given the time of day to share all the information, guys. So much love to every single one of you beautiful people for everything that we do. We got a bright, beautiful, amazing future ahead of us. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you fucking stay straight. Get your mind right. And we'll catch y'all next week, friends.
All right.
Yo, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you so much. It's an amazing
Bro, this was lit.
green
Thank
space.
you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Guys,
Much
don't
love, y'all.
forget to record. Guys, before you go, don't forget to record yourself when you find out about Post Chain. We need those videos for the archives of Hexico. Please,
Good.
please. Thank you.
Will do. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Later.
Yeah, I'm ballin'.